recording.com. We're going to hang out for another live stream right now at 8 p.m. Usually we get together at Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 8 p.m. If you're watching this on the replay, don't forget to hit subscribe to my YouTube channel, you nerd. And if you are subscribed, make sure you hit the bell when we go live for these streams. We're just going to set a couple things up, put some music on in the background. The wizard is standing by.
What's going on?
So we're getting ready to rock this out tonight, guys. So we're going to just get some stuff set up, and I'll see you in a bit.
Little flowers smell so sweet. First you grow and then you wilt in the heat. Leaving only memories behind. Wilt in the heat. From all the things we didn't try. A color wheel of suicides. And the man says, I've got the good book for you to rely on salvation. If you let me choose, I just might let you down. A smile, another frown. Come stubborn. If you choose, you just might let me down too. We do it to each other. Go ahead and lock your door. Don't talk to strangers no more. Ask yourself if the worst is in store. That's the end right there. All I have left to fear. A life better and solitude. It'll be over, I have nothing to lose. If I react to your concern, it's something you cannot discern. Then my hope is that you'll return and leave me fixed to my thoughts and I yearn for the day becomes my turn. My moment I was truly concerned to feel the hate of another heartburn. A life still an unforgotten hurt, and that's the end right there. But all I have left to fear, a life bitter and solitude. Will be over, I have nothing to lose, and that's the end right there. But all I have left to fear, a life bitter and solitude. Will be over, I have nothing to lose. All I want, I could never get. It burns me out like a cigarette. And with the help from a bottle, I'll forget. The loaded dice against my all and bet. All the future sticks so sad. From all the people I've already met. So many years of pain and regret. Leave me bitter and discontent. And that's the end right there. What will I have left to fear? A life bitter and solitude. Will be over, I have nothing to lose. And that's the end right there. What will I have left to fear? A life bitter and solitude. Will be over, I have nothing to lose. A life bitter and solitude. Will be over, I have nothing to lose. A life bitter and solitude. Will be over, I have nothing to lose.
Oh yeah. Yo, what up, TascFam? You guys ready to hang for another Wizard Wednesday? We're just playing some tunes. I think this is Jay's old band, right, Jay?
Yeah.
Hold on, this mic stand's pretty janky. As all mic, we just had a conversation about mic stands and how they get so janky. Somebody should do something about that. Start a new mic stand company or something.
Call it Mike's mic stands.
Mike's mic stands. We'll have the 424 model and the 414 model.
424 floor model.
Yo, what's going on out there in YouTube land?
What it is.
We got the
Can you see
wizard.
me? Can you see me?
Yeah, let me. Yeah, I think you're good, man. Let me get the light up a little bit.
That's what she said.
Maybe I'm just like too close, so I'm soaking up all the light. Yeah, we got the wizard hanging out over here. What's up, Jay? I saw Matt hanging out. Travis, what's going on? Giant Tree, Twin. Uh-oh.
Jesus,
Made a
fucking
knot
my
on-
floor up and everything.
Fuck, I just fucked up the floor.
That's bamboo too.
Sorry,
shit.
man. I made a little nick in it.
Did you?
Right there, yeah.
Whatever.
But you'll know that one's from me. They say
Love
wherever
the
you
song.
go, you leave a little part of yourself behind.
Leave
So
a little mark, yeah.
sorry, Jay. I was
It's
just
alright.
getting so pumped for this live stream. I'm in like a really energetic mood, which is rare for me on a Wednesday at 8 p.m. So
So I'm trying to get this YouTube app up so we can do this
Cool.
live stream.
it's good to see all you guys. We're thinking about doing like a little bit of drum stuff, like in correlation with the drum video we did the other day, because yesterday we had a couple questions about drum miking techniques, and
I feel like we always have those. There always seems to be.
Yeah, so I figured
lot of
I called this one drum Q&A recording session. So if you guys got questions about drums, we got the kit here. That's what I was saying last night. I was like, I wish I had my kit here. But this is even better because now we're at the Bohemisphere. We're at Bohemisphere, Jay's studio. And
you want the live chat on the
sure, man.
tablet? There you go.
And we're just going to be
Doing
taking some
shit.
questions, hanging out. I haven't seen Jay in like a week. It feels like forever. I'm glad we're back on some kind of weekly schedule. Although we've been hanging out pretty weekly now.
Yeah, I think
But,
it's been working out okay.
Yeah, we're back at the Bohem this weird. Oh, this is like buzzing.
It's buzzing. Yeah, it's alright.
Oh, it's okay.
It's probably just updating things. It's
It's
only ever on like once a week, so.
cool. Getting freaky with the tape. Like, oh, Will's here.
Giant
Hey,
Tree
Will.
said, "Is that a flute solo?" Nah, man. That you
Yo,
probably
Travis.
were hearing the
Mike's.
probably hearing the really high pitched lead guitar sustain thing on that track. That was a track of a band I used to be in called Flourish. If you see the Flourish logo on the front of the kick drum in all the videos, that's left over from that band. I'm too cheap to buy a new head. So,
Oh yeah, the flourish head.
yeah.
So
I was the drummer in Flourish, and the guy who plays bass in Surmiser played bass in Flourish also.
And you played drums, right?
Yeah, I played drums, and we had the guy that played guitar and a vocalist. But yeah, we never finished that record, so that's the one track that's like 95% done.
It sounds pretty done. Yeah, I thought.
Yeah, that one's bad. that whole CD, actually, the whole record, I made with the drums in the tiniest room in the house. I chose a little tiny office room with a big fluffy like day bed kind of thing in it as a bass trap, and I got some really really awesome, really dry drum sounds on that thing.
Yo, we got Coop in the house. We got JMA.
Yo.
We got Jeb. What's going on? Good to see all you guys. We got the Brozone layer. The bromance is back on.
Yo, I'm stuck in a bro storm. You ever hear that song?
No.
Oh my god, I gotta find that. Caught in a bro storm.
Matt's been working on a reggae tune. Awesome. He's smoking the spliff, man.
That happens.
Maybe some cookies. I don't know. We'll have to get Hapro over here. Yeah, the lady is sick tonight, so we decided to come here so we could party all night at the Bohemisphere. Man, I'm feeling really good tonight, guys. This is awesome.
Yo, I gotta find that song. It's not coming up.
Professional audio. Yeah, so what's good, guys? What's been going down? Will, thanks for coming out, my friend. I always say that it's like wicked late in the UK right now. This is awesome for you to be staying up and hanging 10. Saturday morning, Will, we're doing a stream with my buddy Brian, and all you guys too, to let you know. It's the first ever scheduled stream. Brian, my buddy Brian from the cabin, who was playing mandolin in the Hapro video, Ballad of Hapro. He's going to be coming through, and he wants to do a little interview. He just released a new record with his band Yellow Rainbow, so he wants to come on and talk about that. We're going to talk tapes. We're going to talk electronica. We're going to talk, I don't know, ask him some questions about his process and what he's been up to and what inspires him. So that's going to be cool. That's going to be March 3rd, this Saturday, at I think like 11 a.m. So
Nice.
if Jay will be there, if he can make it.
This Saturday?
This Saturday, yeah.
No, I got rehearsals.
Oh, right. Yeah, Jay rehearses on Saturday. So, but yeah, if you guys want to come through, that's the only scheduled Coffee with Mike right now. First ever scheduled one that we actually scheduled out. And also, Brian
is going to be a fun one, though.
Yeah, he's super excited to come on. He's been on the stream actually twice before, or 3 times, at both cabin sessions. So, or no, yeah. He was in a video, but he's been in the background. He's been rooting me on the channel. He's been hanging out on the Patreon, which is cool. So he's really excited. It's not sponsored by Brian, but it's going to be really cool. So just want to let you guys know, because that's like one of the only, because sometimes those are random streams, not like these that are scheduled.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a wacky time. So make sure you turn on those notifications. It's the little bell icon somewhere.
Travis, the ceiling actually I think is the Brozone layer.
Yeah. I love the ceiling, man. It looks so good in the photos.
Yeah, I like it too. It should look good in photos. It's made out of a photography backdrop.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Let's give him a little.
They saw it. That's like the top of the stream.
Yeah. Go tilt it up for him for a second. The brozone layer. There's the brozone layer. You guys saw it earlier. It's pretty dope.
Broasis. Yeah.
Bro, yeah, this is a real broasis. I was just talking to Jay before we went live. Just like coming here, it's like such a nice respite from day to day, and also just it's just fun to hang out here. It's like a really awesome hangout space, and that's what you're saying you built Bohemisphere for, right? Tell us a little bit about that. Like, what was the idea behind this space?
The idea behind this space was basically just to make sure that I had a space that I could work in that sounds as good as it can sound, and
How's all your equipment?
house all my shit safely and securely, and be warm and cool when either is appropriate, and but also to open it up for people that want to record or who need the services that I provide. But this whole space is sort of like if you took my teenage mind and turned it inside out. There's funky finishes and natural finishes and mixed finishes and weird paint schemes and unfinished ragged edges, and shit's loud.
Yeah, it's like a found art piece in some places.
Well, a lot of this stuff is left over from when I worked construction, and I used to bring all kinds of shit home. When I started building this, I just started going through the stashes and cleaning stuff up and figuring out what I could make out of what I had. My control room windows are a perfect example. One of those is a 3/8 tempered plate glass tabletop, and the one on the other side is a argon filled dual pane thermal window, 2/8-inch panes of float glass, with about 18 inches or so between them.
Where'd you pick them up?
Job sites,
So it's just like a collection of random.
all sorts of shit.
Yeah,
All the sheds and garage spaces and stuff that I have available to me have been for years packing and filling with shit. And that's,
for the one day where you could pack it all into your space here.
Yeah, Travis. I mean, I when I'm here, I'm in this chair in this room. It's that's why this room is the most put together and organized and sort of whatever clean. But I wanted it to be a comfortable space for me, and generally, if I'm comfortable, most people will be comfortable.
Yeah, man.
So
That's what I was like kind of alluding to, is that I just always so pumped to come here. I think that's what it was, like brought my energy up tonight, because it was so nice to get out of the house, and just it's always nice to come here and kind of get laid back, light up the wood. It's awesome.
yeah. The Indian backdrop actually is there's a dual double hung window behind that, and it actually still has an air conditioner in it, but yeah. That's my curtain, I guess. And then actually across the sound lock, you guys are looking at us sort of through the door, but behind where your position is, there's another Tree of Life Indian tapestry, similar shades of red.
Yeah, I never noticed that.
That sort of drapes that wall, and yeah, I'm all about sort of creating individualized sort of ambient spaces. I have a room in the live room that's actually clad in purple micro suede, and I like it funky.
Do a little studio tour, Travis. I think the only space we don't get good service is actually right within this room, so this is pretty much the control room. We're probably gonna go walk around the live room in a minute, right? To start doing some drum stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to.
There was one
There
thing.
isn't much to see, but
I see
sure.
that Antioch showed up, aka Lucavelli,
Yep.
aka I think the winner of the giveaway. So welcome back,
Nice.
Antioch. He actually Instagrammed me today, or they Instagrammed me today about belts on a 414. I think it sounds like the belt on his 414 is going bad. So I don't know if that is. how I don't know if any of you guys know how easy or hard that is to replace.
All you got to do is open the 4-track. You should be looking at the bottom of the transport once you get in there.
Right.
And if
So
you're not, it's
it's a
only a
matter
little
of
more
just getting the
disassembly.
belt, right? Probably.
Yeah, and if you can't get the belt, you can refer back a couple streams ago where I was talking about, trying to find big neoprene rings to serve that purpose in your local plumbing section. They should have something that
that's
come
right.
close to working.
Yeah.
There's a million ways to skin a cat, so use your resources. Go check whatever.
Yeah. So Antioch, if you're still with us, oh here we go. I think he just posted something. Somebody just. Yeah, my rewind is real slow sometimes. Not always, but it kind of chugs everything every other press. Because you were saying that you tried cleaning your machine out, right? But that didn't solve the problem. Because it sounded like the way you described it, or the way you're describing it, could be some issue with the belt, or the belt could be going.
I actually would wonder if it kind of chugs every other press of the button. That could be with the contactor that activates the motor, or it could be with the motor itself too. In rewind, you're spinning that motor under a different load than you would be under play conditions. So could be that you have a weak spot in the armature of the motor itself. You have to sort of take it apart.
Yeah, I figured. Thanks for stopping by. I told Antioch to swing by the stream. Maybe someone else knew, one of you guys in the chat, or obviously the Wizards got some ideas on it. But if any other guys got some ideas, hit us up in the chat.
Travis, yeah, I've definitely seen belts go slack, especially in like consumer grade, 80s tape, whatever. Even in turntables, you get just slack enough where there's still, they have enough gumption to get it done, but under certain conditions, it doesn't really work. So yeah, that's possible. Also could be greasy, oily, nasty shit on the belt. Could be anything. Wobbly sound, fixed with cleaning. That was odd chugging with 3-1. Yeah, I would definitely take a look at the inside and see what you can come up with.
Yeah.
There are gears and things inside the transports on those machines that can collect crusty, cruddy shit too.
Yeah, maybe there's something in there.
So, when you get enough dirt and dust in the grease will harden. The grease will harden anyway, but it coagulates in an even worse way when it's all full of grime. So it could be a matter of cleaning that.
And were they both present at the same time, or after you cleaned it, now it started chugging? Because maybe you loosened something up, or something slipped in as that was going on. I don't know. I mean, that's what she said.
I would open it. That's what he said. But yeah. So yeah, so what should we get started with? Did you bring the preamp with you?
I did.
You did.
I did. I remember to bring it.
Nice.
So if we want to do something with that,
That's
I was
a
actually
plus.
just working on the bass video today.
Nice.
Before I came here, I'm trying to get those all done. But yeah, we got the bass video coming up, the song video, the synth video I did today as well.
Nice.
I recorded a synth part, and then the drum machine video that you did. Oh, you know another one I want to do too? Now that we're actually doing this, and I remembered, or this brought it up, at some point we should do an acoustic one like we did on the stream that time.
Yeah.
Acoustic singing like we did that time. Like,
Yeah.
I think that would be really cool, and that's one of the uses for it. Is one of the main uses why I wanted to make the pedal was because of the Neutral Milk Hotel sound. The overdriven acoustic, or the distorted acoustic. I know that's like a big sound of the overdriving, like cheap 4-track preamps. So that was kind of, for me, an impetus for making the pedal, or for making the preamp. So
Right.
So yeah, that was another one. Just so I remember that. I actually brought my notebook.
Yeah. Oof. Excuse me, fam. Damn.
Whoa, Vladislav. Greetings from hi guys from Moscow.
Wow.
What's going on? Welcome.
Some of my favorite gear is Russian.
Octavia, right?
The Octava mics, the Audion compressor next to my head, the Sovtek MiG 50 that I gig with. Yeah.
What
Guys
time
got
is
some
it?
Fun stuff.
What time is it over in Moscow, Vlad? Sovtex. We got the the Russian electro harmonics pedals that
Yeah,
there's
there's a couple of
quite
those
the
up
lore
here.
about.
Couple of those up
That
here.
story that you told me about Mike Matthews and how he bought that factory is like, I can't believe that. Do you want to give us a quick little history lesson about that?
These guys don't want to hear about
No,
that.
all right. I thought it was a pretty
I
good
actually,
story.
I keep meaning to bring
Can you
that.
give us like a three sentence history of the Russian factory?
Well, basically, the Teamsters shut Electro Harmonics down in New York City. Mike Matthews sort of went, you know, expat and ended up over in Russia where he bought a vintage, basically it was a Soviet radio factory.
And that's like all the parts. There were
Yeah,
just like random
all the
parts,
parts.
laying around,
It's
right?
425 in Moscow.
Damn.
Wow.
Thanks for staying up with us, Vlad. Or maybe you're just getting up for work or something, or maybe you're just a night owl. Thanks for coming through the stream. This is
Well,
awesome.
it could be. Is that 425 p.m. or a.m.?
I think it's AM because these guys in like the UK, it's like kind of late,
Oh,
so
yeah.
it would make sense if it was.
Yeah, the Sovtechs are great. I really have for a long time adored the MiG 50 and the MiG 100.
Which is the one I've been playing through live.
That's a MiG 50. That's actually a model 001. That's one of the very first Sovtechs made
What?
before they had
Should
the
we be
MiG 50.
gigging with that?
I don't give a fuck. Go buy another one.
But it's number 001? Isn't that,
Well-
shouldn't that be in like a museum or
Well,
something?
no, not like that. It was before it was called the MiG 50. It was called the Model 001. It says
okay.
MiG 50 on the back, but not on the front. There's also a weird spelling on the control plate, and then when they became the MiG 50 on the front plate, they changed that spelling also. But yeah, I really like that amp. It's like a super loud bassman kind of thing, and
Yeah, I like that amp a lot too, especially with the cab that you have it paired with.
yeah.
It's really good. I feel like it just really sounds like what you sound like playing a guitar. You know what I mean?
That's what it should sound like.
Yeah, yeah.
The MiGs are loud and clean, and yeah, well, to a point they're clean. But the only complaint I have with that is the pots suck. And someday I'll get around to actually working on my own shit instead of working on everybody else's and put new pots in that. But
Wasn't there an issue with the tubes too? Uh-oh. Looks like the stream maybe. Are we still there? The stream looked like it dropped for a second.
it's still clean on
Oh,
mine.
maybe it's this thing.
Could be on that
Yeah, so the
with the tubes.
yeah, I thought there was like blowing tubes, or maybe you just didn't have enough set for that. Like you were like kind of swapping tubes out.
Oh, I cracked a couple preamp tubes in it.
Was that a result of the circuit, or that just kind of like dropped?
I think
there?
that's a result of the fact that the tube sockets are extremely rigidly mounted, and you
Thanks,
know,
Chad.
getting bumped around in the car and shit. It cracked V1 twice actually, twice maybe 3 times now. So when I gig, I carry spares, and that's why. There's nothing worse than pulling it out of your trunk or out of the back of your car or whatever, and you know, seeing white where there should be silver and not having an amp. I'm not borrowing anybody's shit. I hate that. Never get your sound out of somebody else's amp.
Looks like Travis has a question. He also said it'd be cool to maybe go deep into sounds on early GBV records. Yeah, maybe we can try to do some. I've been wanting to do some videos 4-track related where, like exactly what you're saying, Travis. Find some sounds and try to recreate them. I think that would be fun.
Yeah, I actually did a lot of that with Nirvana catalog at one point.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But,
a lot of the new stuff you guys are doing sounds like Bleach a little bit.
But
right?
not just that. We actually covered Nirvana songs in the studio and tried to mimic the sounds.
That's such a great
And-
learning lesson.
Now I got a little drop. But yeah, that worked out pretty cool. And I don't think those tracks are on here, but I think they're on the hard drive. So
I'll have to dig them
at
out.
some point. Have you ever messed with converted old PA amps? And so yeah, I have actually. I've done a bunch of Challengers pre-Bogan, and I actually have an Allied radio, Night Allied, I think it is, single-ended 8-watt head that I recently revamped. That's, I think, my favorite so far. It sounds like a really, really pissed off champ. Has an octal preamp too, which is actually sort of fun.
What about? I know there's that Fender amp. It's like a PA 100. I remember looking into those at one point because they're very similar to like a bass. I don't know. You may not know, but like
Which is it?
I think it's the Fender PA 100.
Oh yeah,
It's that weird one that has the four.
it's like a
inputs.
twin. It's
Yeah.
got
Okay.
the
it's a
same
twin,
transformer
yeah.
set as a twin reverb.
Yeah, I remember like because I saw JMA said he's done that too.
Yeah.
Or PA
Yeah.
conversions because I know that amp in particular said it's a PA amp, but then I know there's also a trick where you can cascade the inputs and like
There is.
really fuzz them out.
Gets messy. Yeah, man, that the Stromberg Carlson stuff. I don't know the Signet 22 specifically, but I know that they over-engineered their transformers, and that stuff is built like a fucking tank. So that's good shit. And Voice of the Music 8810. That's an Altec product. So that's again, brick shithouse kind of stuff. That's really cool.
Jeb saying
And I'll have to check out the Masco stuff too. I don't know that stuff.
I've never heard of that either.
specifically.
Yeah.
I've seen the brand, but I don't know anything about it.
That sounds kind of like what we were doing the other night. He's Jeb saying Pollard sang through an electro voice mic into a deluxe memory man. We were rolling through the with the preamp the other night. We were doing that was a couple weeks ago. We did that to do the first test, the unveil. Remember, we were running into your memory man.
Yeah, we didn't have the electro voice mic out though.
What did we use mic wise? Is the SM? I don't remember.
Either a 58 copy or a 57.
Right. All right, we'll have to
I'm not
check.
sure.
We'll have to try that out.
I do have that one electro voice mic that's really cool for shit like that though.
Vlad, yeah, welcome to the TascFam. Thanks, Matt. Thanks for giving him the shout out there. Thanks for hanging out, Vlad. I know it sounds like it's really early there in Moscow.
Or really late.
We're really late. However you're looking at it.
Yeah.
Travis
Yeah,
says
that's cool.
his
You know,
fan
one of
is
the-
like a pissed off toaster.
Yeah. One of the coolest things about these streams and the community at large is like how far reaching it seems to be. We've got Canada and Ireland and now Russia and
UK,
we got,
Will was-
UK,
Will
there's
was
guys
floating
in the
around.
States. I mean, it's,
Yeah. There was some
really good to see the community sort of drawing from all corners.
Yeah, some people from Germany.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, my buddy. I've been talking about email John Richards. He's been hanging out. He's telling me a lot about the electron stuff.
Cool.
And he's over in Germany, and then some other people from the UK. It's amazing. Yeah, like how far reaching it is. That's why I've been wanting to do like an earlier stream for some of these guys because it's so late for them. It'd be cool to catch them when it's like a reasonable hour.
Twin says the TascFam is taking over the world, man. I'll go one better. TascFam is taking over the world, one like at a time.
Nice. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, welcome to the stream.
So
Vlad.
Vlad, fill everybody in if you want in the chat. What is your? You must record if you're here to hang. Are you a 4-track enthusiast or a professional studio kind of person, or what's your background? Like it's returned to 0. Will's killing it.
Thanks,
Oh, man.
Will.
Yeah. Well, so what should we get into tonight?
Well, maybe we take a swing over take a quick look at the Sovtech. Since Vlad is hanging out, we were talking to the Sovtech. Just take a quick little glance of it, and then maybe we'll shoot over to the drum corner and talk about some dick mics, some not quite dick mics.
I didn't have that shit set up, but we could.
Oh, what did you want to do? Like, you
I
have
don't know.
ideas?
I'm open to whatever.
If you guys have any questions regarding drum recording, it's kind of a loose topic tonight. I just figured maybe it'd be having a topic we can kind of talk around, and also just last night there was some questions regarding the drums and how we did it. So
Yeah.
So I wanted to just if there's anybody still floating around tonight that had questions about any of the videos or just drum recording in general, I felt like we could do a Q&A but if you guys just want to just hang too, that's cool too. We're just chilling.
Do you want to go in there and try to spin through and see if the service maintains?
Let's give it a shot. I think the only spot where the service was really a pain is if we come toward the rack equipment. which is a shame because it'd be really nice to do like a rundown of the rack stuff.
Oh, I put pictures up. I don't think they got many hits.
Oh yeah, the pics are up on the. There's also a new gear list thread that DBO is managing now too.
All right, nice.
So if you guys want to just post like what kind of gear you're running, or if you got stuff for sale or trade, or you got some reverb or eBay posts or something.
Travis, I use ribbons on the drum kit out front, running Blum Lean or Blum Line or however the fuck you want to say that. I'm big on that at the moment. I sort of go back and forth. Sometimes it's condensers, and other times I can't break away from setting up that sort of tree and going for it. You record more than 4 instruments on your 424. I'll let Mike handle that one.
Oh, cool. That's a great question, Vlad. Well,
you know what? I'll let you answer that.
You want to set up?
I'm gonna set up a not quite dick mic.
All right, I'm gonna take over the chair.
Yeah, go ahead. It's warm.
This is so nice. I'll come a little bit closer to the TascFam so you guys can see me. All right, so Jay's gonna be setting up some drums right now. I'll field the question, or if you guys want to cue Vlad in the chat too, go for it. I'm by no means. There's many ways to go about doing it, Vlad. So these guys might have some other info that is more pertinent than what I'm about to say. But so recording more than 4 instruments, basically the 424 is a mixer section and the cassette section. So if you think about it, or a cassette recorder. So if you think about it as a mixer, then pretty much anything that you can do on a mixer, you can do on the 424. So, and the 424 also has a sub input depending on which model you have, which also allows you to essentially chain another mixer to your 424. So you could have a second mixer that's set up to record your drums. So say you wanted to record, you had an 8-channel mixer and you had a full band. I guess this is a live recording, right? But if you had an 8-channel mixer and you hook that up to the sub input, then what you could do is have somebody playing bass on one of those channels, have the drums hooked up with like 4 mics or 2 mics, have some background singers, have somebody playing a tambourine. It really depends how many people you can get to play if you're gonna do a live tracking session. It's pretty endless depending on how many things you want to record into your 4-track at the same time. And the best way to go about doing that is having some sort of external mixer. Now, there's also other ways that you can split instruments as they're going into your 4-track, or essentially make stereo mixes outside of your 4-track. I think Saturn Works, or one of those companies, makes some kind of splitter box, or you could make a splitter box yourself. And instead of using it as an ABY box, I think you could basically turn it the other way. So you could sum 2 different, it's basically an ABY box that you could sum 2 different instruments in, the A and the B, and then have them come out a single, I guess TRS or TR jack, I guess depending on what kind of jack is hooked up. So you could do stuff like that too, basically having a mini mixer. Really comes down to mixers and what type of, or even pedals. Like if you have a guitar pedal that has 2 outputs or 2 inputs, you can mess around with splitting signals and then mixing that signal outside before it even gets to the 4-track, and then sum that down to 1 channel. You can also, but if you're talking about bouncing, you can also do bouncing. That's a whole other segment of this, or a whole other idea, and that's where you're recording 3 instruments each channel or you could be mixing or summing those tracks as well. But with bouncing, you're essentially freeing up as many tracks as you want by keeping a track open or bouncing out to an external source like a DAW or a 2-track tape or another 4-track, like the bouncing playlist that I did, where I'm doing a couple different formats. So when you're recording by yourself, the possibilities are essentially endless because you can just keep freeing up more and more tracks. The only issue is you're going to start developing more hiss. So, but if you're looking to do a live situation, I would say if you have any other mixers or any pedals that can split signals, any mini mixers, that's basically an ABY box, you can really play with stuff outside of the 4-track. And also, I mean, if you want to do more than 4 instruments, like a completely other way to think about it outside the box is have 4 instruments in a room and have one mic and say, how can I mix these instruments in the room? That may not have been what you were referring to, but it's another way of thinking about it. You could just have 4 instruments in a live room, and I mean that's what they used to do in the 50s, 60s, right? I mean, they would have one mic and all the musicians around it and balance that one mic in the room, and bam, you could have as many instruments as you can fit in the room, and just as long as you mix them in that room to that mic, then you could essentially have as many instruments as you want recorded onto one track. So it's yet another way of thinking about it. But I'm talking like a fool here. Let me see what you guys are saying. Anything pertinent? I guess not. I guess I'm just going off on a tangent here. Jay's laughing in the background. But yeah, so those are, I guess, 3 different ways of going about it. You know, you could mix the instruments in a live room to like a single mic or a pair of mics, and then you could do as many instruments as you want, Vlad. Or you can, by bouncing, you can record a slew of different instruments, a slew of different tracks, keeping a track open or bouncing to an external source like a DAW or your computer, making a copy of the stereo mix, going fast forwarding on the tape, bouncing that back to your tape, and then you'll have 2 more channels freed up, and you can keep doing that as long as you want. And then the third way I explained, which was the first way, was depending on your model, you may have a sub input, and if you don't, you could even just hook up your mixer to inputs on the 4-track, and really it comes down to adding additional mixers, whether they be in the form of pedal that has stereo or inputs or outputs, whether that be a mini mixer, like I think Saturn Works is the company. Basically, you can make one yourself if you wanted to, if you had the skills. It's all about just splitting signals in creative ways and figuring out how to get those signals onto the machine in a way that makes sense for what you're recording. So I hope that answers your question, Vlad. What do you guys think? Does that sound like it covers it? Everybody still here, or am I like just going? am I just going off on tangent? Yeah, I hope that answers your question, Vlad. Thanks for that. That was a good way to get some of this energy that I've been cooping up at. And I think with that, I think Jay's ready for us in the live room.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what you want to do exactly, but I got the kit mic'd up, and
let's peep the SovTech for a hot second.
All right.
Oh, my pleasure, Vlad. I'm glad to have helped. I'll probably maybe I'll go back and find that tirade on the stream and put it up as a video. I don't know. I've been trying to think about doing some stuff like that. All right, so we're taking a little walk. We're going into the live room at Jay's right now. So this is, I don't think a first, but you've probably seen this in some of the videos. But so I'm actually going to flip it around so we can do sort of an interview with Jay. Actually, this seems like it's working okay.
As long as the stream health stays.
Yeah, I think we're looking okay. So if it drops out, let us know. I'm sort of monitoring it. Oh shit, I almost fell over. I'm sort of monitoring it right here. So this is like, it's a little bit delayed, but I'm checking out the chat on this, so it's kind of funny. But anyway, so we got the drum set over here. But right now, I just want to bring your attention over to the SovTech corner. This is Jay's SovTech. Yeah, I had too many cookies. That's why I'm tripping all over the place. Yeah, Travis said, rad looking spot, Jay.
Thanks, man.
So this is Jay's SovTech. This is what we've been playing with Be Cool Cowboy. Jay's been, playing. Jay and I have been playing together, and this is what we were just talking about, Vlad. If you're still hanging 10, but yeah, so it's number 001. That thing's dope.
Well, it's a.
Let me get in close.
A tube lead amplifier model 001.
Vlad said yes. Oh, I see. Okay, so model 001. Is that like really blurry? Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, that's what I've been playing out of live lately. I've been borrowing Jay's SovTech.
Well, here, I use the tablet as light.
Oh, dope. Yeah, so it's model 001. Oh, I see. I thought you meant it was like
the first one.
On there, it had like serial number 001.
No. Nope.
Cool. Yeah, that's the thing.
And then on the back, it does say MiG-50, but.
Cool. So it's like kind of a mashup.
Well, also the later production models had a white trim, a white piping around here, which this one does not.
Right.
So
we got Jay's amp corner over here. Couple Beast hanging out.
With all sorts of shit stacked in front of it at the moment.
Yeah, we'll have to do a more official one. This is Jay's Harmony. Oops, lock and orientation. This is a really cool amp.
It's an H306A.
Oh, I think we might be dropping a couple peeps here. Hold on. Stream's down to 16 pixels. All right, hold on. Let me see if this comes back. Shit. I think some of the fam's still there. If the fam's still there, give us a shout out. I think it was just that corner.
And yes, that MiG 50 is modeled after a Baseman. And actually, if you want it, I got the schematic for that.
I'm gonna run back to the control room and see if it'll come back.
Yeah, I kind of like the grainy pixelation. It's sort of funny.
Can you guys see me? Are we still here? I'm hanging outside the control room trying to get the stream back up.
Yeah, your square blocks, but
shit. All right, hang 10, guys. Let me check my. Damn, we dropped like half of the shit. Half the people fell off the raft right there.
That sucks.
That sucks. Well, they'll be back. They know what we're doing. But yeah, so we're hanging 10. Sorry guys, you just dropped the stream. We're doing our best, but that's what happens when you go
off the
oh, hey
grid.
Travis. Yeah, we're off the grid right now. Cool. Rapidly better. Okay, cool. So hopefully people filter back in.
Looks good on here.
I think it was just that corner over there. It was a little
dodgy.
funky. Okay. Giant Tree says hey Giant Tree, he says they say the quality is better, but there's a lot of lag. All video recorded on a potato. Yep. Perfect now. Okay.
Yeah, looks good now.
All right, let's try to venture back in. I think it's that corner. I'm gonna follow Jay in. All right, so what do we got in terms of the drums, Jay?
It's just the
Twins back. So I think the amount of people in here is not. Because I have a little counter. I don't think it's right, though, because there's way more than 5 people messaging us right now.
Yeah. The drum kit is a 2005 Ludwig. It's all birch.
Thanks, Twin.
Using Remo pinstripes on the top and either stock heads or Evans on the bottom. And then the snare is a Pearl Sensitone with an Emperor X on top and just a Ambassador Hazy on the bottom. It's got pure sound wires on. CB crash, a master. I think we gotta just stay in the room.
Yeah. Yo, TascFam, are you out there? TascFam, we're all alone. I think we're back, guys. We're gonna hang out over here. The stream is like a Commodore 64.
Yeah, I think you just gotta clip it back in.
Yeah, we're gonna hang out over here, guys. Maybe wait.
You want to go outside?
We might be able to do a little bit from here. You left, but it came back. It's true love.
So the
you love something, let it go.
So that's the kit from here. Am I a fan of vintage drums? Yes. There's a closet next to the drum kit that has a bunch of 60s and 70s drums in it. Behind Mike, there's another closet that has a bunch of 50s and 60s drums, mostly marching.
This is the Tree of Life, right?
Yeah.
We were talking about.
Yeah, Tree of Life's there. Yeah, movie theater trash can.
Wait, did we ever show you guys the Did we ever show you guys the microphone door handle? Streams like my penis in 9th grade, always pulling out.
Oh Jesus,
Matt. Microphone handle right there. It's a little dark, but that's how we open and close the door. It's still mic. Pretty cool, right? And on this side, there's the fingers. So it's pretty.
Yeah, and then if you close this door, it's sort of like looks like a rune. Yeah. So it's like a Nordic wall in a really weird way. And the stream is dodgy as fuck.
All right.
Splotchy.
Let's get back to our home spot here. Yeah. Vlad asked if we had any vintage machines in the studio. Jay, do we have any vintage drum machines in the studio?
The only vintage drum machine in the studio would be that SR16 from the 90s.
Right.
There's some pieces from a Con organ, the rhythm section, in one of the other closets.
Oh, cool.
In the projects bay.
So Vlad, we kind of don't. I guess 90s is vintage now, right? 30 years.
Fucking far as I'm concerned, it is.
Yeah.
I feel vintage.
I'm in Tuscany right now, just hanging out. Gonna be there. Gonna be in the UK pretty soon. But
John, my guitar.
let me get the
armory.
stand.
Where's the stand? Here, I'll get the stand. You stay with us.
All right,
Help
all
is
right.
Good.
So
There
I
you go.
brought it in there. Back.
All right. Here's
All right.
this.
All right. We're gonna set back up in the control room. Sorry, guys. All right. Let's see what we got. We're coming back. Gonna get the lighting back. Hopefully we don't. We were doing good until we went to Commodore 64.
Yeah.
Sorry, we just had to hook up the Commodore 64 for a second.
And you can't go by the gear rack, so we can't even set it up like facing through the window.
I know. This is like.
Well, now we know where the sweet spot is.
I guess we're gonna have to get Wi-Fi at the studio, Jay.
Someday we're gonna have to get a studio Patreon going so we can afford it
Yeah,
at the
hell yeah.
studio.
Travis got that vintage VHS 4th generation copy, Steez. Yeah.
Nice.
Oberheim DMX sounds.
John, most of my guitars live at my house. The only thing that's here is a Aria 1802T. Actually, I got a cool one. There's a Jolana Galaxis here.
Uh-oh, I'm all alone again. I'm glad to see the stream is back, though, so you're never quite alone if you got the TascFam on the stream, so thanks for coming and hanging out tonight, guys. This is awesome. Sorry we couldn't check out the drum room and the Sobtech and stuff, but I'm glad to see you guys are coming back through. Jeb just said something I can't really see. I feel like I have dementia watching this. I think I'm going to be okay in my old age. Wait. But if you have dementia now, isn't it only going to get worse?
So yeah, this is a Jolana Galaxis, and Vlad will recognize this instrument.
Yeah,
Most definitely. This
he put a
is
bunch of question marks.
Czechoslovakian made.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Where'd you get that?
eBay came from Belarus.
Wow.
Shipped with the neck unbolted, and it's got a broken string right now, but it sat around in disrepair for a while, and I had my...
I think I broke the string on that.
You might have. I had my luthier put a tune-o-matic in it and a real nut. I put some Fender tuners on it.
It's a really cool guitar. I think when I broke it, though, you said, don't worry, it happens all the time. Is that true, or were you just being nice?
No, it happens a lot.
Okay, cool.
That's why I stopped playing this one live.
Yeah, I think one day we were just jamming, and you were like, I didn't bring my guitar, and you're like, here, check this out. I love, what kind of pickups are in that thing, Jay? Are they T90s or something?
Nope. This is these are proprietary to Jolana. So Jolana was made behind the Iron Curtain.
It's cool knobs on here.
There are parts of this guitar that are sort of half-ass copies of like a Jazzmaster, like the tailpiece is sort of Jaguar Jazzmaster, but there was embargo on import, so they made everything in their factory. So the pickups are no different. The pickups house a pair of single coils each, wired separately, and each coil has a lower or a different resistance from the other. So there's a hot coil and a weak coil in both of these. If you wire them as humbuckers, they get really gnarly, and there's a big range of sounds on the rotary selector, but it's a pretty funky little guitar. I've played the shit out of this thing. And
How long have you had that for?
I've only had it probably 3 years.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if it was like one you've had since you were a kid or something.
No, the Jag Stang's the only one I still have that I've had since I was a kid. That's a 96.
You came to the right stream, Vlad.
Yeah. I adore the Soviet stuff, even though this thing's a pain in the ass.
Yo, how's the stream health doing, guys? You still dropping out? People still filtering in and out? I think we're good. It's tough to tell. Tough to tell. I hope it's all right. Let me check out what's going on over here. Yeah, I think JMA or last time somebody was talking about the how it looked like we were shooting the stream on like a VHS and they dug
Yeah.
it. They thought it was like a filter, I think, from like an app. They're like, "What app are you using to make your stream look like that?" I was like, "We're not. It's just really bad service." It's fairly blocky on my end. Uh-oh.
Huh.
Yeah.
So this is the guitar I gig with all the time. This started out as an Ibanez something or other, but it's all fucked up, and I love it. Neck's all disgusting at this point. I bleed on this guitar a lot because it bites, but
Blocky, playing Minecraft. Sorry, we're just playing Minecraft here. Jay's farting.
great.
They definitely heard that.
That's all right.
Dude, it's HD now for me? What? Alright, we gotta get some tape on the ground right here and just mark this. Oh, I gotta get my charger. We're at 10% bat.
What pickups, John? Pickups in the that's it. It's actually a GAX-10. It's like the shit model. It was a $50 guitar, and I've played the fuck out of it. It's got a Rockfield fat ass in the bridge, giant pole pieces, high output, or in the neck rather. The bridge is a GFS hot P90 in a humbucker case. And if I can get around the mic trees, I'll show you the Aria guitar. That's the last electric that's worth the fuck that's here.
They're saying it's clearer than ever now. We gotta get the tape, Jay.
I wish I had some.
We don't have any tape.
I don't have any gaff.
It's
Should
alright.
get some. I'm out.
We'll take a picture of it. Yeah, for some reason this is what was happening to us the first night I think we came here. We were gonna show off the rack equipment, and then as soon as we entered the threshold of the control room, right here is like the doorway. You can't really see it, it's right out of frame. This is like the doorway of the control room, and as soon as we enter in here, it's like all bets are off, fellas. Let me catch up with the comments. Sorry, I'm like writing. Don't touch it, Mike. All right, I don't want to touch it.
So the last one I'll show you is the Aria 1802T. It's like the Epiphone ET270, which I also have. That's at home.
What pickups are these now?
Those are proprietary. This is a
my
Matsumoku Japan. Or sorry, it's a 1802 too. I think I've been saying 19.
That's awesome.
But yeah, that's fun.
Do you have an Aria bass too?
No.
Oh.
Tom had the Aria bass.
Oh.
It was like the EB300 or something.
Don't touch the stream, Jay.
Can't help it. I'm too fat to fit through that little opening around all those goddamn cords.
I know. Oh yeah, that's right. Now we have like this cord mess here.
So yeah, that's that.
Oh, Will wants to know if I think that is a vintage Soviet swivel chair, right?
No, that's a vintage Staples chair. That's a vintage
Soviet
Staples chair.
swivel chair, Vlad.
I'll be right back. I'm stepping out a
Check
second.
it out. That's pretty awesome. Bet you don't see those every day. Damn, for real, the best I've ever seen on the channel. What the heck, man? This is the spot. Whatever it is. I think there's like a little attic space right here. Maybe the stream is able to go right up through the attic. That's so weird. Let me catch up. Yeah, the old Japanese guitars are really cool. They've really skyrocketed in price. At one point, there was around this area that we lived, there's a lot of like antique junk shop type places or thrifty store type places, and I remember talking to an owner at one point who owned a couple stores, and there was somebody who was just traveling around buying up all the cheap, because at that point they were like, before all those guitars had like a run on them, I don't know, maybe like 10 years ago or something, somebody in this area was just going around buying up all those cheap Japanese guitars, and I guess
It was me.
That was you?
No.
And flipping them on eBay, so I don't know, or something to that nature. So I know around here it's like cleared out. You can't find a single one of those. I mean, I'm sure they pop up from people's estates and stuff. But I just thought it was so super interesting because that's what I was looking for at one point. A couple of those old ones. A buddy of mine used to have, I forget which type, but it was a really cool. It was like way too bulky in the neck, but it sounded great. Just really weird, unique, proprietary design guitars. Cool
Well,
stuff.
I think what a lot of people don't realize about those Japanese instruments is that, or even the Soviet ones too, is that you don't just buy one of those guitars and throw it over your shoulder and go gig with it. There's often a lot of modification required. The tuners always suck. The bridges are kind of shitty. The necks are kind of weird on some of them. That Joe Lana actually is my favorite neck, and it's like flat on the back almost. It's like a very, I don't know, I guess that's like a C shape, a flat C shape. It's almost like a slide neck or something, but it's real thin. Nice.
Vlad's feeling left out with the bass guitars. He says the Musima action bass is very good Soviet bass guitar. Also, some Musima sounds good. Huh? I've never
I
heard
don't
of that.
know
one.
that, but you know what I do want a lot is you guys have the Electronica brand or had the Electronica brand. There's something, I think it was like the RC02. It's a rack mount delay and chorus reverb kind of unit. Super funky, and I wanted one of those forever, but they're always like $500 and like $100 to ship it from like some place like Latvia or some place where there's no postal tracking or anything to hear. That's so sketchy. But like the Lel effects, like the CZ chorus is fucking sick. I think the Russian companies and especially during like Soviet Russian times where it was they weren't allowed to trade with whatever outside countries. Some of the technology that came from that is so awesome compared to like the shit that we know effects wise.
Whoa.
They were like the Electronica FL, I think it's the 01, the weird flanger thing. It does some shit with flanging that like doesn't sound anything like what we know as a flanger.
Whoa.
It's like a crazy like through zero jet plane skyrocket thing.
How do you get your hands on that stuff?
eBay, man. All of it's eBay. Yeah, unless you know somebody in a country where that stuff is prominent,
Vlad, can you ship us some
Yeah, ship us some Lels,
Russian
man.
pedals? There's a shop with a ton of them for cheap. Yeah, that's the thing with those guitars is that most of them do need setups, and if you can get them, get a good one. It's kind of what Giant Tree is saying. That's the same thing. I think it was a Tisco. How do you say that?
Tisco.
Was
We
it
say Tisco. I don't know how
Tisco,
you're supposed to say
Tisco, whatever guitar.
it. Tisco.
That's the same one I had, or my buddy had that I used to use, and it was
Yeah.
same deal. It had this huge baseball bat neck. It actually played pretty well. Doesn't sound like the one that you had was playable, but yeah, you could definitely hit some homers with that. Are we?
Travis, I've got a whole collection of those weird miniature tubes too, man. I actually, there's an amp in the other room.
Jumbo!
That runs 6AQ5s in the power section, but I built the phase inverter out of a one of those mini long leg triodes. But yeah, those are super cool, man. Super fun.
Guys, you guys are making history on the channel right now. This is our first chat ever
In Russian.
in Russian, and another language for that matter besides English. So, guys, thank you for making 424 streaming history right now. This is awesome.
Yeah, that Zvex thing, man. I actually was at NAMM the year he unveiled that thing. And yeah, it's sick.
What is
Yeah,
that? Sub miniature tubes.
They're on that amp in there, the one with the mouth drawn, the face drawn on it, and the tube sticking out of the mouth.
Yeah.
That's a sub miniature tube. It's called a pencil tube. It's about this long. They're maybe 5/16 of an inch in diameter, and they're power tubes and preamp tubes. And
They don't make them here.
they used to make them here, back in the 50s and 60s. They did, but there's a big stock of them in Russia, and in the former Soviet Union, I guess. All those countries seem to have a stockpile of some really great parts. Also, my favorite glass germanium diodes come from that era over there.
Stink bug.
Stink bug.
There was one hanging out in the light before too. I don't know if that's the same one.
Just let them chill, man. I don't even give a fuck.
Yeah, they don't really do anything.
Nope.
Um,
Can't keep them out of here, so might as well embrace it.
Yo, have any of you guys seen those new? I was gonna ask you this too, Jay. The new Cord, I think, is making these new type of tubes or something. They're like flat.
The new tube, yeah, I saw a video
What
about
the
it.
heck is that? Is it actually a tube or is it?
I seriously doubt it. The way that tubes work involves a concentric structure, and that's not a concentric structure, so I don't know what the fuck it is. My guess is that it's some sort of thin film transistor nanotechnology sandwiched in a piece of glass that they're calling a tube, but I don't know what the fuck it is.
You think it like somehow emulates a tube or something?
I'm betting it's probably bullshit.
That was kind of what my vibe or impression was from it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm super interested in whatever that new tube thing is. But...
I'm curious, but if you want tubes, go buy fucking tubes. Don't buy, the screen for a Coleco fucking handheld game from the 1980s that somebody figured out how to pump guitar through, because that's what that thing looks like. Oh, Coleco football. Fucking, I don't know.
It's used to get Limp Bizkit tones. I see.
Is it? Oh, that's fantastic. So it's a starved plate. We can guarantee that.
Yeah.
It's just brittle and raspy and raspberry.
Used for missiles. Is that the sub mini tubes?
The mini tubes, yeah.
That's
a lot of that was missile guidance shit.
Wow.
Yep.
Awesome. I'm not up on my post rock bands in Russia right now, Matt. What are some good ones?
Actually, I would love to have a list of Russian post punk, post rock, post hardcore.
Hit us up.
Even like some old punk rock bands and stuff, man. That stuff is super hard to find here. So if you
hit us up in the chat.
Yeah, or make a thread on the forum.
Oh yeah, the forum. There's a new area on the forum too for favorite like music and stuff. So.
And Vlad, have you joined us on the forum yet?
Yeah, Vlad.
424recording.com/forum.
Hit it up.
Come out and stay in the loop with us. And Belarus.
Yeah, the Fender pedals. I have seen those.
Is that the new make of the blender and stuff? What did Fender?
Is there a blender? I know there's like a I think they're just trying to get into the pedal game this year right now. I was talking about it on one of the streams a little bit. They're like super simple design, which I gotta give them a thumbs up for.
Yeah.
They almost look like book covers, if that makes any sense. So they're not about the aesthetics of it. It's more about the sound. They have some basically their own line of like the classic effects, but they're getting into the effects game. I don't know. I'll be curious to see what they sound like. I don't think it's a little too late. If some of those sound cool, they sound cool. But what do you think, Giant Tree? Have you tried them out? Or are you?
Travis said, I think they tanked the reissue blender.
Oh, really? I feel like that would have been the most. That would have been the one everybody wanted. That would be the one I would get if they made a reissue blender.
Vlad says the very cool band from Russia is Motorama.
Motorama, that's a cool
check that out.
Yeah.
Put that on my pad for later on. We can check that out over sandwiches.
Yeah, hell yeah. Huh. Yeah, Giant Tree. What? Any other guys peeping those Fender pedals? I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of pedaled out at the moment. Once the TascFam Preamp was made for me, I'm done. I don't need any more pedals. So
I got so many fucking pedals. I started selling them.
Me too. I've just been unloading my stuff because
I sold that Clone Theory.
Really?
The black and red.
Did you get what you wanted for it?
Close.
That's good. It's a rare bird.
Have you ever used? Yes, I have used a Beba.
Beba?
They're pretty freaky, man. You know what else was cool, man? Was the Color Sound made that vowel sound pedal for a while. Forget what the hell that was called. That one was cool too. Shit, I'm trying to remember. There's a company that reissued that though. It's called the Little Dipper now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've seen that.
From Godlike.
Oh, maybe that's not what I'm thinking.
There's a guy in Jersey that owns Godlike Distribution. He bought the rights to that Color Sound thing and had it redesigned and made in China. I actually had his prototype for a while, and I modified his prototype, and that's what ended up in production.
What?
Yeah, because the circuit is not dissimilar to a electroharmonics baseballs, which is sort of another freaky like
Yeah.
formant valve filter thing. But yeah.
I was under the impression the baseballs is sort of like a one-trick pony.
Yeah, it is. Travis said it's the first Sabbath record in a can. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Definitely.
Hmm.
The Brassmaster clone. I wanted to get one of those too. Hey, what's going on, Andrew?
Hey, Andrew, thanks for coming out. Good to see you. Oh, you haven't. So Giant Tree says he hasn't tried those Fender pedals, but they did. Yeah, they look decent and they sounded decent. And there's a new video. I haven't checked that new video out. We'll have to check that out after the stream. Brassmaster clone. What is that? That's like a treble booster.
It's a fuzzy kind of. Yeah, I guess it's meant to be a treble booster. I'm not really too sure actually. They sound badass.
Hmm. Would it be Exodus?
Hey,
What's going on, Jeremy? We were Jay was.
I was just banging on some test passes and some drum ideas on that track you sent me actually when Mike showed up today.
Yeah. Yeah, I walked in and he was recording some drums, Exodus. Sounds great.
Yeah.
What's going on? No worries, Exodus. It's so good to see you. Matt's been looking for you. A couple of the guys been asking about you. What's been going on? I've decided you've just been really busy. So
Yeah. Yeah, the Jextelez pedals are. He's blowing up like on his YouTube is hot, or Instagram rather is hot too. He's constantly making all sorts of different things. I like that stuff because it's a little bit like rough around the edges looking.
yeah,
You know, like the Death by Audio shit. Did I tell you that Oliver Ackerman from Death by Audio is mastering our next record?
you showed me that.
Did
Yeah,
I tell you that? Yeah. Yeah, so that's happening. He's got the final mixes now.
cool, man.
Yeah.
He's got the final masters or the final.
No, he's got the final mixes.
Oh, cool.
He's working on the masters.
That's gonna be dope, man. Yeah, I heard the you sent me
The test
the
master.
test track. Yeah,
Yeah.
it sounds huge. Yeah, I'm gonna snag a water.
Yeah, man. Oh, I just got an email from Will also. Will, I'll get to that at the tail end of the stream, man, when we're catching up on some food here. Jeremy, yeah, I got a take that is at least the skeleton of what I'm gonna try to do. It's not anywhere near a final. There's too many fuck ups in it, but yeah. DBA got booted from their last space because Vice magazine bought the building.
Oh, that's right.
They ended up on the other side of the bridge, still in Brooklyn, no longer in Williamsburg, and they're not running a venue anymore. He's got his living quarters and the DBA pedal stuff going on there, and his studio shit set up. But he's been mastering bands from Brooklyn quite a bit, and you know, I've been to a few of their shows, and actually at the old spot, I caught him at one of the shows, and he gave a group of us a tour of the pedal facility and the old studio and his living quarters and bedroom and shit. And you know, but the bass player in my band, in Surmiser, follows them religiously. He goes to like just about every one of their shows. So when we were finishing this record, you know, like I had considered mastering this record myself again, which I do on a lot of people's shit that comes through here anyway. But I thought it might be cool to get some of Oliver's like buck wild, super loud aesthetic on it, since this is a super aggressive record for us. And the test master we got, you know, I think clearly we've made the right choice. He's definitely fitting the aesthetic of what we're trying to do. And the plus side to that is he wrote back before he even sent the test master to say that he really liked the songs. So that's that's a super good thing. I would love to go and play some fucking bonkers shows with those guys because
Yeah, you definitely want somebody who's into it to master it too, because then they're gonna put that much more passion into what they're doing. Yo,
yeah.
one of you guys could drop my email in the chat for Vlad. That would be awesome. It's 424recording@gmail.com, Vlad. But hopefully one of the moderators can hook that up for us, because I don't know if I can do it from this thing.
Travis, which band played there not long before they closed up?
Thanks, Twin. Yeah, Vlad, if you want to hit me up at that email, I would love to check out your Russian 424 recordings, my friend. Hit me up.
Peugeot? Huh, I'll have to check them out.
Oh yeah, you said that you recorded them recently, right, Travis? That's right.
They're on Saddle Creek. Oh, cool. Yeah, John, if you want to hit me up, and yeah, I'm down to do the Bo Hansen thing and a reamp in one box. If you want to swap that out, I'd be game for that. I'll pay to ship yours, you pay to ship mine, something like that.
That sounds cool. Oh, nice.
Half-inch 8-track, nice. That's OG. I kind of want to get an Otari MX5050 8-track, even though it's sort of a shit machine. So many of my favorite records were made on that machine, though.
That was actually my first question for Travis on the forum. If you guys don't know, Travis has a new board on the forum that he's moderating about reel-to-reels. So if you have any questions about reel-to-reels, hit him up. It's the forums at 424recording.com/forum. You all probably know that. But yeah, so welcome, Travis.
Travis, yeah, that's what this was. Was it the TascFam 38 or was it the MX5050? Yeah, John, I'm gonna put a note down on here, and we'll be in touch as soon as possible about that. Yeah, I think that could be cool. I'm down to swap, so that's good. So where are we at? I guess I could. I don't know. Maybe I won't play that drum track. It's a little sloppy.
TascFam 38. Is that?
Yeah, yeah. So you track that basically with the bleach setup then. Yeah. Fucking A, man. Let me ask you this: did you use an SPX 90 or a PCM 60 as your outboard effects on that record, though? My correspondents with Jack and Dino have said that have proven that those are the two effects units that would have been prevalent at Reciprocal at the time.
That's so awesome, Travis.
Yeah. That's actually that record, well, the Bleach record and all the early Sub Pop releases and stuff are the reason that there's an SPX 90 in the rack behind me. Wacky PV compression, yeah, I bet. If it says PV, it's got to be either a piece of shit or super weird.
Yeah, the SPX 90 is dope, man. It's all over 90s stuff.
Yeah, I mean that record that we just made that's the
reverb sound.
The drum verb is all that, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Did it hiss like a cobra? Yeah, Mudhoney.
Yeah, the Mudhoney stuff. Well, Mudhoney was a little tricky. They made a bunch of records with Jack Andino at Reciprocal, but they had a scheme worked out with Sub Pop where they would get the advances for their records, and then they would find the cheapest fucking studio they possibly could and make whatever their next record was there so that they could pocket that money. On YouTube, actually, there's a great documentary about Mudhoney. I forget the name of it, but it's like I think it's called like We Are Now or something like that. But it's all interview footage and you know them talking about all the crazy shit that they used to do. That's a good watch.
Hmm. Oh yeah, Travis, of course for the shout out, my friend. That's awesome. Because we know nothing. I personally don't know anything about reel to reels, and I've been really wanting to get into, as we were talking yesterday, recording reel to reel. So I know Jay does too. So that's like such an awesome thing that you're doing is moderating that board, man. Thank you so much.
What was the other studio bug? I don't know about that. I mean, there were a couple out there, like Conrad Uno's place still runs, as far as I know. Um, I forget what it was called though.
Conrad Uno, his
Yeah.
place.
Yeah. Um, Shit, I want to say it's like Llama Farm or some weird shit. That's
Llama
in
Farm?
yeah. It's actually a converted garage in a residential neighborhood in Seattle proper.
Oh, that's cool.
The studio runs from like 11 in the morning till 8 o'clock at night when noise curfew is in his neighborhood, and then you shut it down and go home.
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Fuck, it's something llama.
That sounds like
Pop llama. Maybe is it Pop Llama? I don't know. I forget now.
when I was in Texas, what's I swung by. I put the address in for Jim Eno's studio
Mm.
from Spoon,
Yeah.
and I was like pumped. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go check this out. Spoon's like one of my favorite bands, and Public Hi-Fi, I think it's called. And I was expecting it to be in like a part of like the city or something, and it was like literally, I think the address was like a garage in the back of his house.
I'm sure.
And I was like, and there was somebody home at the house. It was like a residential neighborhood.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like,
Well-
should we go like knock on the door? Like,
Well, you know, like Conrad Uno's place, man. If you look at the if you watch the documentary Hype, there's live in studio footage with the band. I think it was Flop. They're cutting tracks in there, and it's like real rugged, like raw cinder blocks, and you know, shit's just kind of funky. And then his control room looked like it was built out with like wood paneling, and you know. But I love that shit. I don't give a fuck about super finished spaces or any of that. The funkier the better, and if
Yeah.
it sounds good,
how
it
does
is.
it sound? Is the question. If you guys like Nirvana and some of the earlier stuff, there's a great documentary on it called Verse Course Verse. The life and times of
He used to rewind that part incessantly.
they used to record and
Yeah.
I'll have to check that
All
out.
you need is maybe some shitty reverb. Perfect. Fucking love it. Have you ever seen Hype?
No.
I'll have to loan you the DVD. It was shot in I think 95 or 6. It's a documentary though, like made about grunge on the tail end of grunge.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. It's when I was a kid, it came out on VHS and I couldn't fucking find it. I was in Raleigh visiting my grandmother, and in the mall there, they had like some like record, you know, big
Yeah,
box
yeah.
record store kind of thing, and they fucking had it. And I have the VHS with the original receipt and shit.
What?
But then I also have it on DVD.
That should be in like a glass box, like over here on the wall or something. That's like I feel like such a part of who you are.
Mhm.
I think
With
it's on
Raleigh,
YouTube.
Raleigh, North Carolina, man. Raleigh, North Carolina.
You think it's on YouTube?
What? Hype?
Yeah.
Probably. At least parts of it. There's also an update to Hype on YouTube. They went back and interviewed some of the same people again, like, whatever, 20 years later or something.
Oh, Mike, I meant to ask you about your earlier records apart from BCC. Where are they online? Would love to hear them. Also, Will, where is your music posted? I have a couple projects that I don't have online, and also there are some that are still online. John, I'll send you some links to those, and if any of the other guys are interested, let me know. Well, one of them is just electricians.bandcamp.com. That's like the band I was in the I was like in New York and like probably 2008 to 2012. So that's probably the one that you'd want to check out. Then I was in a band up here, Hello Later, two different setups with a couple guys. That stuff is pretty cool. I gotta find, but there's like other stuff I've done that I just don't even have released. Um, Actually, all that stuff is available. Now that you mention it, I'll plug my Patreon. There's a Patreon level, Patreon 424 enthusiast, where I'll send you my entire discography of records. It's like almost like a gig of music of stuff I've been involved with over the years, and I think it's like the $10 level. If any of you guys are interested, it's patreon.com/424recording. But I'll link you guys to a bunch of that stuff. But if you're interested and you want to get that gig of stuff, hit it up.
Jeremy, we've talked about this a little before on the streams, I think, but I was born in Cary, and I lived in Cary, Raleigh, and Garner, and then we moved north when I was about 7, I guess. But I still have some family in the Raleigh area, and also the woman who babysat me when I was a little kid lives out in. Oh man, she's out in the mountains, but I forget what the town is called.
Asheville?
No. This is like a little tiny town. There's like a Tyson chicken factory there. That's like about the only industry. It's not Rocky Mount. But anyway, I was just out there not that long ago.
Thanks, Vlad. I can't wait to check that out.
Is it called Egg? Yeah. What am I thinking? Why am I thinking Pop Llama then? What the fuck is that?
Yo,
That's
thanks.
a thing.
Pop
I
Llama?
know it's a thing. Pop Llama is definitely a thing. Huh.
Yo, thanks, Twin. Thanks for checking that out.
Oh. Alright. Well, that makes sense. That's his label, yeah. Alright. On that topic, though, Travis, how do you feel about like the Steve Fisk production on some of the Nirvana shit?
Yo,
Turn Around specifically.
I don't mean to. Exodus said the Sound City doc is good.
The Sound City doc is good. Yeah, if you want to see Sound City, you should catch my Instagram and roll back into July. My brother was the studio manager and head engineer there for about a year.
Yeah.
And there's video of me like banging on drums in the
Jay
studios
was big
and
chillin'
shit.
at Sound City.
Yeah. So, and I also sampled the reverb chamber. Now that he doesn't work there anymore, I think I can say that. So I made an impulse response with my phone in Sound City's reverb chamber.
So we
But
got the reverb.
I can't give it to you because that would be probably some kind of breach of something.
Exodus said, you know what I'm thinking? Mike and Jay start a label.
Oh my god.
424 Recordings.
Actually, when I was a kid, I ran a little like bedroom label called Big Idiot Records.
Really?
Yeah, and every once in a while, until GeoCity shut down, I used to get CDs and cassettes and shit in the mail.
What?
From like punk bands, like, yo, put me on your comp.
That's cool.
I did 2 comps, and yeah, I think I made probably 5 copies of each one. You know, when you're like 14 or 15 and you don't have any fucking money, it's kind of tricky.
Yeah.
But they don't know that. I made some nice like Paint Shop Pro graphics back in the day and shit, you know.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was fun. Had a little online zine that went with it and shit that my friends and I used to write, and
That's funny, man.
yeah.
Big Idiot. I like that. Is there anything survived from that era?
In storage at my house, actually, I have a whole box of all that stuff.
Yeah.
And none of those bands, as far as I know, ever really made it anywhere. But you know, there was some really cool shit that came in the mail that was related to that. Some really fucking fun bands. There's a band called Die Cheerleader Die that fucking sent me like early ass demos. I think they were from New Zealand or someplace.
What?
It's like an all girl punk band.
Exodus said he had the copy on floppy of Paint Shop Pro.
Yeah, I downloaded mine on my neighbor's computer because he had better internet than I had. I put it on an iOmega zip disk and installed it in my Windows probably 95 machine.
Man, those are the days, huh?
Yeah. And the space is the result of those years of grinding and collecting. Yeah, I've been collecting and building and amassing gear and shit for fucking years, man. Um,
We're wondering what happened to you, Matt.
yeah, John, that's what I mean. I'm, I've been putting this place together sort of as a labor of love so that I had a place to do shit. And there's years of gear collection around me, and lots of trades and swaps, and a lot of really difficult projects that I was able to reclaim materials from working construction, and
A lot of history.
yeah, some of it, and a lot of history has happened for me in this room too. I mean, I've probably been in 10 or 12 bands that practiced in this space and broke up in this space. So I've been here a long time.
Well, John, we're honored that you're part of the TascFam, my friend. Thanks for coming in through and hanging out all these times, and it's glad to make your acquaintance. Like, my pleasure, So,
Jeremy, yeah, I'm 35, man. Bought a tape machine from New York about a year ago, actually. Oh, yeah?
What?
Yeah, man. Um, Actually, Jeremy, there's my cousin Chris still lives in Raleigh someplace. I haven't seen him probably in 5 years or more, but he's about the same age too. I don't think he's a music guy though. Last time I talked to him, he was just telling me about how awesome the new Metallica record was or whatever. It was like, cool story, bro.
424 recording zine, Travis. Let's do it. Make some photocopies. Get the long stapler out.
Travis and I'm probably the oldest human in here. Well, I mean, how old are you? No such thing as old anyway. Vlad says, what gear of interest do you have in your studio? I guess that depends on where your interests lie, Vlad. I'm a big fan of weird channel strips and racking them up. I'm also a big fan of.
What about the garbage can reverb? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Oh yeah.
I mean, when I saw that, what Vlad said, that's immediately what I thought of was your. Oh, don't you have the chimney reverb too?
Yeah, there's a chimney reverb too.
Super unique for the space.
That one is at the moment disconnected because I don't want to go back in the crawl space. Yeah, I'm lost now.
What do you have interesting in the studio?
Oh yeah. Well, Travis said I'm 40 plus one.
Dude,
Yeah, that's not old, dude.
I have a stapler too from when I used to make zines.
So Vlad, I guess like of interest, if you're not like a big channel strips guy or whatever, there's a lot of really super funky shit that does all sorts of stuff, man. I'm a big fan. I constantly harp on the weird reverbs and stuff, so I would say to me that's probably some of the coolest stuff, outboard wise. I'm a big fan of my German mic preamps. I have a whole bunch of 70s American-made Stevenson preamps. There's a Duquesne medallion mic preamp thing that I use constantly on toms and sometimes on vocals. There's an Altec 1592B, which is a 5-into-1 mic mixer with swappable modules on the back. So like mic preamps on an octal and 8-pin socket, and I have tons of those. So there's all different varieties of noise and hum and grit and sort of flavor also with that. Um, you know, everything in here is in here because I like it. It's not in here because it's the greatest gear ever built. It's not in here to suit anybody else's needs or wants. It's in here because I like what it does. And, you know, since I'm the guy in the fucking rolling chair, I get to make those decisions. You know, I definitely have dealt with sort of some of the snobbery around equipment. I don't subscribe to it. I really don't care.
If it sounds good, it is good.
I like the shit I like, and some of this gear, you know, there's compressors in this rack that I've had since I was like in my late teens. Are there better compressors? I'm sure there are. Do I have some pretty ace tricks using those compressors because I've had them that long? You bet your ass. So, you know, but
Yo, I had a TV that you actually had to turn the channel on too, Exodus.
yeah, me too. I had a black and white.
Remember this?
I actually had a black and white, like small screen with the 2 dials.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Twin saying you may dig a weird reverb that his buddy used to scream into a traffic cone.
Hey, why not?
That sounds cool.
Yeah, you know, I shit on a lot of brands, but I would never tell anybody to like not use it just because I don't like it. Like, you know, some of the PV shit can be cool. Some of it is really tough to kill, so it's really cool for gigging and touring and stuff. You know, I think you absolutely have to use first and foremost what you can afford, and secondly, you got to use what you like once you reach a point where you can afford to choose. Um, yeah, yeah. To me, that's important.
Yo, I'm a big fan of my PV Backstage Plus. That thing's great. I mean, that's when I'm using the vocal distortion video, and I always tell the story about how I got that. I got that from my boss. He was an ex metalhead in the '80s. He sold it to me for $50 because he was just trying to unload it. I was talking to him about the Strokes one time and talking to him about the vocal sound. He said, "Yeah, that's where they got." I told him, "Yeah, that amp is where they got that sound." He's like, "Okay, cool. You want it?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." And that was the amp I brought to my practice space in the band I was in. And you know, my buddy was coming around the corner. I was playing through that PV, just playing some licks and messing around with the saturation. And he came in, and you know, he had all these tube amps and stuff in our practice space. And he was like, "Man, I couldn't figure out like which amp you were playing. That thing sounds awesome." He's like, "What are you playing through?" I'm like, "I'm playing through this PV, man." It was like sight unseen. He, you know, a guy who is like into tube amps, got an Ampeg SVT, like an original one. Like, I don't know, he had a bunch of other amps. I had my Fender amps there, and he was just like, "That's crazy that that thing sounds that good." I was like, "Yeah, man."
So, I'm gonna back up. Twin said the reverb with the traffic cone. I'm totally into shit like that, and I'll give you a little story about that in just a minute. Also, Will was talking about piano resonating and pissing him off when he's playing guitar. Um, so I shoot impulse responses at things whenever I possibly can. There was a big studio up here. It is now defunct. It was called Waterfront. Waterfront had an 1890s baby grand in it. Um, I had intentionally shot the sine wave sweep at that baby grand with um, the sustain pedal depressed physically with my body sitting there. I mic'd it with 2 tube pencil condensers, and I have 3 different impulse responses of that. And it is like some of the sickest shit you could ever do. You put that thing on a snare drum. When the drum hits, like its decay has tones of the piano overtones in it. It's really super cool shit. Um, yeah, Henry Hirsch's place, exactly. My brother was the first an intern there, and then he was Henry's assistant. Um,
Yeah, that's how he knew how to work on a tape machine.
yeah,
We were talking about it
Henry
last
taught
night.
him how to work the tape machine actually. Um, But yeah, that place now belongs to a guy called Patrick who, once the equipment had been moved to Sound City, couldn't, I guess, re-equip it, unfortunately. So it went, you know, it went dark. But before that place closed up, I shot impulse responses all around the whole building. I have mono and stereo samples from all different positions and up the bell tower and all sorts of shit.
That's crazy. Do you see that, Jay?
What?
Travis said, "Dude, I bought my Lynx converter from a guy that claimed to assist at Waterfront. Things that make you go, hmm."
Guy that claimed to assist at Waterfront.
Was it Dave?
Travis, if you give me that guy's name, I could verify that. I could just text my brother and he would know. He was there for over 2 years. Um, yeah. Skiz, what format do your impulse responses go in? Oh, late 2000, 2011, huh? Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. The setup at Waterfront was pretty fucking sweet. It was a weird control room in a basement, but it was well designed. Giant ATCs built into the walls, and that Helios board, which one day when I was there, I pulled one of the modules out and I pulled all of its sub-modules out and took very detailed pictures of everything, all sides. Um, yeah, that was a super cool board. And then once that Helios was installed at Sound City, it was really cool to like take my own mixes out there and play them through the Helios in Control Room A too. I'll tell you. Yeah, the MM1000. There were 3 or 4 tape machines at Waterfront at the time. Last time I was there, and yeah,
What's a
more radar.
Nunberg Iconoclast? I've never heard of either one.
I don't know what that one is. Travis, when Sound Toys bought that console, my brother actually was the guy that flew with it from LA
To Vermont.
to Vermont to help them, to assist them in the wiring scheme and setup of that board. So yes, it's at the Sound Toys super mega playground now, being well taken care of.
They're probably gonna make some plug-in modeled after it, right? That's probably their whole idea.
Yeah, they're trying to model the pre's, I guess.
That's cool.
Um,
Sound Toys make some great plugins, I gotta say.
Travis, I think that console was installed at Sound City for like, I don't know. I'm almost positive it was less than 6 months that it sat there. Dave has a Helio. Dave Amels, I'm sure. Or do you mean Dave Grohl? Neither would surprise me. My brother's working at Village Recorders in LA now as a tech on the computer systems, I guess. And he said that John Mayer has a permanent suite there that has a small Helios in it too. If anybody gives a shit about John Mayer, I thought it was interesting. I thought it was interesting, at least.
Yeah, the
Dave
Echo
Cobb,
Boy
okay.
is really cool, by the way. I like that plugin too. It's really good for vocals. I like to use it. Do you have any?
Awesome.
Do you ever use any of that Sound Toys stuff? I got that plugin from them. The plate that I was actually talking to Dave about. It's like the little plate. It was like a free
The
one.
Echo Plate.
I think it's called Little. They put out a new one, Little Plate. It's modeled after like the really famous, a few really famous plate reverbs. That's why I was asking Dave about it because I know he was looking for specific plate that time. You guys like drove up to get it, right?
Oh, we drove out to Sonic Circus for that.
Right.
In Vermont.
That's why I was asking him about that. I was like,
It was an Echo Plate 3, I think.
Is that the name of it?
Yeah. I also have very detailed pictures of that if anybody's interested.
His body is a wonderland.
Yeah, John Mayer's a killer player, but what a scumbag of a human being.
He can play though. Yeah, I mean, his body is.
Yeah,
What did he do? That guy. He has some weird, sketchy stuff.
you should just read interviews with him and like read the way that he talks about women and shit. Like
Oh,
I would
right,
knock
yeah.
that fucking guy's chin out the back of his throat. Fuck that guy. What a dick. He's got no respect.
John says, "Rant, Jay, rant."
No, I'm not gonna.
It's a funny video of him claiming to be a recovering ego addict. I don't know much about John Mayer except for obviously his body's a wonderland, and then I've seen a couple of videos of him like wiling out. And
Yeah,
I think that's pretty
he's
cool
fucking
that he was
nasty
like a
at it.
songwriter, but he actually can play. But I don't know too much about his scumminess or. That just sounds hilarious. That I'm claiming to be a recovering ego addict.
Man. Yeah, I don't know. He also can read accounts where he's like tried to pick women up and shit. I'm telling you.
Oh, that kind of shit.
What a fucking dick bag. Anyway, I'm not gonna rant about that.
Wait, what is that? Prince's family putting the symbol in Minnesota Twins baseballs. Cash and shame. What are they? They're putting it like on the baseballs. Oh, on. Yeah, that's what you just said. Right. Yeah, John. That's why I think that's hilarious.
Yeah, I agree. He's got chops, man. I'm not gonna shit on that. John Mayer made it look. Oh man. Don't give him any ideas. Yeah, fucking Ted Nugent, man. Oh god. Ugh. That's a fucking mental mess of a human being right there. Again, I'm not gonna rant about that, but oh fucking Jesus.
Getting Jay. Here we go. Here we go.
What's this?
That's what John's saying. He's like, here we go.
No. Yeah, I mean, he was a ripping player for sure. Like, what the fuck was that band with Tommy Shaw? The damn Yankees or something he did? Like, yeah, but... he says he says that shit. Oh, man.
55 Birdland. I've never heard that.
Birdland, that's, I'm assuming, the model? Who made it? I don't know that one.
I'm gonna let you finish, Exodus. I'm gonna let you finish.
I gotta step out for a minute, fam.
Jay's gotta step out. He needs his Nick fix.
Peter.
Oh, pee break. Taking over the vintage Russian swivel chair. I'm taking it over. Oh, TascFam. So good to see you guys out tonight. Sorry, thanks for bearing with us with the various stream drops we had. I think we found the sweet spot now. We need to just leave. We need to get some gaff tape and tape out this spot on the ground because as far as I know, the health has been good, the HD has been good, the stream has been good. So thank you to the 424 gods above and below that are allowing us to stream in such high resolution quality right now. We wanted to do some more walking around, showing you guys some drum stuff, drum mics, but you know, life's what happens when you're making plans, right? So we got to do what we can do. Yeah, weak bladder grandpa. Jay, you're getting ragged on. Yeah. What? Just kidding, we're the same age. Hey, do you guys have any experience with homemade guitars? I'm going to build one for a school project. Goes for any of you watching too. Any thoughts or ideas? I don't have any experience building homemade guitars. Maybe Jay does or somebody in the chat. So, oh, there you go. You got two willing victims right there. Jay, do you have any experience with homemade guitars?
No.
It looks like we got some
I've played some jacked up ass homemade guitars before, but I don't have any experience with actually making any.
Looks like we got a few peeps helping out. So Giant Tree's asking what up. Well, what do you say, Jay? You wanna call it at 10? How you feeling? What should we get some I'm getting pretty hungry.
It's up to you, man.
What are you guys thinking? You want to hang out for a bit? We're just chilling. I mean, the thing is, the stream health is pretty on point right now. So it's kind of like this is always what happens. Mr. Burns, my ninja. I don't know what that is.
I don't know.
So Mike, those early records are where you learn to tame your that one album, the Electricians album, that took us like a year to do.
Holy shit, really?
Yeah, that's what I always reference when I'm talking about that. That was my perfectionism period. And through that period of time, we lost so much momentum as a band and we had made 2 recordings of it. One was like a live recording in a studio, and then one was this like epic, supposed to be this epic opus. And it's a good record, but we could have. It was 80% of the way there, like.
Probably the day you tracked it.
Yeah, the day we tracked it live the first time.
Yeah.
So I don't know what. But that's just the naivete of being young and of like feeling like it was that important. That's what I mean. Like, those tracks probably haven't been dusted off or listened to by a human being in years. I mean, and at the time, that's what I was saying in one of the rants. It was like, it seemed like the most important thing in the world. But now looking back at it, it's just some files on a computer that a handful of people have enjoyed and listened to, and thank you for listening to and enjoying it. But it's like I'm not sure what that is, like that perfectionism. But that's kind of that's where I learned just make stuff for the sake of making it. Art for art's sake, and the process is the purpose. The process is the purpose of creating, not the end product. So
this kid said sideburns. Oh man, here we go with the sideburns jokes again. You didn't notice I got a haircut though?
I noticed.
Got my haircut today.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, man. Life's all about learning experience. Recording's all about learning. It's like everybody wants to make perfect things and perfect art, but you gotta.
Twin noticed.
The process, the process is where you learn a lot of stuff. If you're not doing what you want to be doing consistently, constantly, you are what you do. So. Looking sharp, Jay. You didn't trim the burns though, did you?
No, I didn't let her cut them. Last time I got a haircut, which was back in. Actually, she didn't do it last time. The time before, so when I got my haircut in like July, she layered my sideburns. Actually, she cut split ends out and then layered them, which was pretty interesting.
That's funny. She charge you extra?
No. Actually, it's
just wanted to practice.
So Tom's wife cuts my hair.
Oh, really?
Headspace Salon in Sorgaties.
That's cool.
But they're getting a new couch tomorrow, and since I have a pickup truck, she asked if I would mind picking up the couch for them. I said, yeah, sure. She said, oh, I could pay you on a haircut. Like, fucking A. My hair was like, like a South Park episode when one of the kids takes his fucking hat off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like what my head looked like. It's fucking terrible.
Nice, dude. Little barter action.
I like to barter. It's okay to say feathered. I don't know. She called it layered, man. I don't know any of the technical terms. I know what balayage is when it comes to hair dye, but other than that, I don't know shit. I can cut mohawks. I'm pretty good. These burns are too hot to handle. These burns are like. I wish they stayed brushed out when I came to do these streams, because I get like, they're fucking massive, man. It's ridiculous. It looks like the fucking 1880s up in this bitch when I got those brushed out.
Yeah, John, I think you can go. He said there's a tape-op interview with Deerhoof, and they went so overboard making some of their records. Yeah, I don't know, Jay. What do you think? You think it's like worth going overboard and going insane? I guess maybe things just never worked out the way I thought they were going to work out, and I just realized that I'm neurotic and insane, and that, like, why am I going to drive myself insane, like trying to search for perfectionism when it's just not something that's even able to be found, at least in my own, I don't know, looking for it.
I don't think there's. I don't think going overboard is a thing until it is. When you're working on something and you're spending so much time with it that you one day step back and you go, "Holy shit! I can't believe how much time I spent with it." You've been working on it too fucking long. You're past the point of no return. Um, I'm a big fan of pre-production ideas and books. I like notebooks. So
Me too.
when we write a song and I'm thinking about recording that song, it'll have a page or five in a notebook that have 75 ideas, about like mic the kick drum with this, try this for that, run this guitar amp with this pedal and half that shit never pans out, but I feel like, if you get all of the possible ideas on paper long before you ever get there, it streamlines things so that it doesn't get stale and so that you don't lose momentum that way.
It's like a brain dump too.
Yeah, it is, but I think you can strive for perfection without losing momentum and without ruining the intent of the end product if you do it creatively. I think where perfectionism really is a problem is when you're agonizing over details that nobody will ever hear.
Yeah.
But if you go through some of that stuff and work through it before you're even in the studio to do that recording,
Yes.
I think that's not a bad thing at all. I mean, if you can generate ideas and, by the time it's time to record it, you've already picked out which ones are not even going to be tried. You've sort of worked through some of the bullshit and avoided some of that mire. So that's my vote there.
Well, that's like also the track we did the other day with Little Wiser. We made Little Wiser with the TascFam Preamp. We used it on each part. We did drums through it, bass, guitar, and vocals, and it was like literally, I think,
Skiz.
pretty much one take wonder the whole time. And I mean, in the past, like I would have never been able to do that and sign off on that. And this was just like, yeah, it's good, sounds good. I think we did 2 passes of a couple things, and most of it was one take, and it was just like whatever, like this is good,
Yeah.
And I think in the past, like that's just something that came with age for me, was because I would have sat here and not released it or been like, I can't do this, or like it needs to be perfect, or like look at all the videos too. It's like,
Yeah.
You look at some of the early videos I was doing, like they're by no means perfect in video quality, editing quality, sound quality, even the
But
stuff
why
we're doing
should
now.
they be, man? Why
Well,
should they be?
but see, that's the thing. That I think perfectionism is not healthy or not good when it holds you back from completing things and finishing things.
And that I agree with, definitely.
Because if you have this artistry inside yourself, but you're held up by perfection of never putting anything out, you're just always going to be in this state of anguish and feeling like I want to put something out, but I can't because it's not perfect enough. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's either something you move through and break through the wall on the other side and figure out, wow, there's something else on this other side of this wall that I didn't realize was there, or you're just always boxed in by that belief. And I think that's really unhealthy, and it was really unhealthy for me. And I'm a recovering perfectionist. So much like my friend John Mayer, who's a recovering ego.
Oh man.
But that doesn't mean I'm a perfectionist. But I definitely used to be. I guess that does mean I'm a perfectionist,
Yeah,
I've kind of learned to work around it. It's kind of like if you're an alcoholic, like you're always an alcoholic, and you have to either come to terms with that and accept that for that's who you are, or you're just gonna keep drinking, and I don't know. This is going into some pretty strange territory. I didn't mean to take it there.
yeah.
But I think the analogy kind of works. So if you can take anything away from that, please do. If not, leave it be. But I don't know. That's my own things. Well, okay, Jay. Let me ask you something. With Surmiser, so like Jay's band, when you guys recorded your latest EP, was there like some level of perfection you guys were going for, or like
No.
were you trying to perfect like a performance? Were you like, this has to be a perfect thing because we're gonna take over the world with this?
No. I mean,
How did you guys determine like something was good enough or up to your standard of playing? It's just that you guys have
Well,
rehearsed it so many times. You're just like, yeah, of course, that's what we can do.
you know what I look for in anybody's performance, but especially my own projects, is that the pass has good energy and that it has as few mistakes as possible. I don't give a shit about no mistakes.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
you know, you're gonna like if
The
you're a
vibe is
drummer,
there. It's like more important than the
way more
perfection.
important. If you know, if you're a drummer and like you slide in a fill or something, you know, as long as you land on the one, I don't give a fuck about that. Like we're keeping it. If it was a good pass, except for, you know, like ooh, I added an accent where I didn't mean to. I don't. You're keeping that. That's good. It sounds good. Leave it the fuck alone.
Yeah.
Same when you know when I track guitars, like there'll be little miscellaneous fuck ups in the tracks. Every single song we just recorded, I'm sure has at least one. I don't care. Like if the vibe is good and the fuck up is not glaring, it lives. I don't chase that perfection shit. I really don't. Even when I track vocals, you know, unless something's squawky or like sounds really super weird, I'm not fucking with it. You know.
Yeah.
When we made our original full length, you know, we spent 9 days recording, and like 2 of those days were cutting guitars, and that I sort of chased perfection, but those are not perfect by any stretch. There are things that I let slide. A lot of that was amp and guitar combination experiments, ate up a huge amount of time. You know, I like one of my combinations was a Champ clone that I built with a 1940s Turner microphone. I put it in a bathtub with sliding glass doors from the tub. That's one of the track sounds on the guitar. But you know, so in that I guess.
But you're definitely not a perfectionist. Would you classify yourself as a perfectionist?
No,
I've never
not
gotten
really.
that vibe from you.
Not really. I you know, but I take pride in the things that I do. You know, if I'm working on a piece of equipment or manufacturing a piece of equipment, I certainly have like a set of standards that I always try to adhere to. I know like aesthetically how it should look and like, you know, and I feel that way about audio too. Like I when I work with a band, I try to meet with them ahead of time, have coffee, get lunch, whatever. Like I want to know like sort of what everybody's personal aesthetic is and like I want to like hear your band too, but I need to know like the people more than I need to know the material.
Yeah, the relationships.
Well, yeah, because you know, if you're bringing somebody in, let's say it's a 3-piece band, and like everybody can play, but like the drummer is just super laid back, the bass player is super laid back, but like the singer guitar player is like super fucking perfectionist. Like that can change and affect the dynamic of the whole situation. And you know that totally changes the way that I think about it when I approach that situation, because now I know that like you know I read people from the minute I meet them. So if the vibe I'm catching from you in the first couple of minutes is that you're gonna be that guy, like I'm gonna be working on a scheme ahead of time to try to like you know.
What was the vibe you got from me when you first met me?
I definitely got some of that like perfectionist thing, you know. There's like a little bit of there's always a bit of nervousness. I feel like.
For me?
Yeah. I've always felt that way, I mean I don't know why. I mean I guess when you first meet me, that sort of like could push you into a nervous place. So I'm a little bit more than most people are used to, I guess.
I'm definitely anxious. Like.
Yeah, definitely. You know, but whatever. It's not a judgment.
No. I think that's just super interesting. I just wonder if that perfectionism thing like came through.
Yeah, I mean, definitely in some ways, especially when we did like the session down at the pizza place and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like working on placements and getting things set up. There definitely was like some of that, not in a way that was like off-putting or.
I just really wanted to do a good job for you guys.
Yeah.
And that was like the first time I met a lot of you guys. I think it was the first time I met all of you guys. So it was like that awkwardness of like exactly what you're saying is like, if you get thrown right into a situation with people you don't know, you know, sometimes you're just not sure. It's like not how our relationship is now. Like, you know, when we're working on stuff, it's just like, boom, we're like anticipating each other's moves when we're recording, and you know, it just works. But like back then, it was kind of like, you know, got to tread a little more lightly. I'm not really sure. I got to feel some people out a little bit.
Yeah. Travis said, I think it's time for a group hug. Oh, man. Here we go.
Uh-oh. What do we miss? I feel like we've just been ranting.
We're on like the private rant.
Oh man.
Sometimes you gotta push the wall to see where it is. That's right, Travis. I've been there.
Very true. Very, very true.
All her tattoos are spelled correctly.
Yeah, that's the.
I was wondering what the punchline to that was.
And there it is.
Nice, Matt. I thought it was, yeah.
Actually, I'm gonna see if I can find the.
Yo, Aaron, what's going on? Thank you for joining us. It seems like you joined us at a really intense part of our stream. Thanks for coming out, my friend.
I have no
Yeah,
idea if this will let me open it or not. Yeah, it will.
Gigging and practicing definitely helps, John. I mean, I think that's part of it. Is like a lot of the songs. I think that's part of the whole 424 philosophy, and that the philosophy of the channel is like having your material gigged and rehearsed, and to a point, it's like the quote that one of my favorite quotes, Muhammad Ali quotes to the effect of like, the battle is won far from the field. You know, the fight is won far from the ring. And I think it just goes into the mentality you go into when you're about to do a recording, or the mentality of, I have this so far down, I've trained to do this so well that I'm just gonna crush it. I'm just gonna crush it when it comes time. So.
I'm looking for the bathtub guitar.
Yeah, Exodus, you gotta finish some stuff up, my man.
So that's a 1940s Turner mic in a bathtub
That's the Turner bathtub. That sounds cool.
with a champ.
Now, is that the amp the guy from the band wanted to steal?
No, this is actually the one that my brother got off me in trade. It was called the Little Hooligan. And these are actually the original tracks from that session, from that first full length that we did.
Yo, John, really quick, you said that early videos drew you into the channel. Are you talking about like that series I did? Like, I wasn't sure if that was like a, like I was kind of trying to do like almost like a documentary or something with some of those. Like, I don't know. That's like, I was always wondering if I should try to do more stuff like that. I guess I was trying to find my way and find my voice.
Man, how my drum sounds have changed.
Whoa.
That's the snare. Anyway. I have no idea what it's doing. I think it's working off of the hard drive. I should have copied this over.
Trying to catch up.
Oh, what happened?
I don't know. I'm just so far behind in the comments because I was ranting with you.
Woke up in a bathrobe blogging. Sounds
Group
like a
hug.
song lyric. John, that raspy guitar is I'll grab the Turner mic so you can check it out. I still have it.
John, yeah, I feel that way too, man. When I get really super pumped and excited around people, especially musicians I respect. I would agree with that 100%. Oh, Mike Watt. Oh man. Did you hear the Travis? I don't know if you listened to. Did you hear the? I don't know if you listened to WTF podcast with Mark Maron, but Mike Watt was on there at some point. I forget what episode number it is, but that was a really fascinating WTF episode. I encourage anyone to check that out, especially if you're interested in. Oh, nice! You have the gaff tape.
I found a piece.
Sweet.
So what happens when you dig through the mic locker.
Especially if you're interested in the Minutemen.
So the Turner mic I used on that is a Turner Dynamic Looks like a $9.99. I thought it was just a $99, but it's this funky ass thing. It is a pretty cool mic. I've cut a lot of vocals with this. I broke the mount like the first month I had it, and nobody makes a wishbone mount like that. So, but so that one, and then this old Evie. This is a 664 Electro Voice. This is one of my favorites too for weird vocals and for snare drums, and if you really need some metallic kind of shit on your guitars, it's cool too. But yeah, I don't know why this keeps blacking out.
That's awesome,
It's
Travis.
supposed to do
Vlad, no, that stuff was recorded to a sound card or digitally that Jay was playing.
that. Travis, I do actually have a 666, but it recently stopped working.
Oh, I got you, John. Thanks, man. I appreciate that feedback. Thank you so much. I feel like that's something that's always missing from some gear gear demos and stuff. Like it's just very dry, you know. It's like I kind of want to bring some more life to it. So it's definitely part of my mission with 424 recording. Thank you.
Studio G in Brooklyn. That's fuck.
Oh yeah,
What's his name?
Tony.
No.
Oh, was that different?
The engineer. Fuck.
I knew a band that. Oh, Tony and Joel Hamilton.
Joel, right.
Oh yeah, Tony. Yeah. They weren't my friend's band, but a band we used to play in with Brooklyn recorded there. Shark, I think their name was. Shark ? They were pretty cool. They're probably still doing stuff.
Jeremy, I would try the old Electro Voice mic. All of them are
That's
funky
right.
as fuck.
Very
They're
good.
really cool, man. 635. That's a salt shaker, right, Travis? The 635. Let's see. How many mics do you use on live drums, and what mics placement? Christopher, it really depends on what the drum kit is and what the space is and what you're trying to do with it. You know, like if you're recording like death metal, you need a totally different mic setup than you'd need for like indie rock or, you know, something like that. So,
Yeah, what kind of stuff are you recording? Looking
Yeah.
to record live, Chris? Thanks for coming out, my friend. Andrew asks, have you ever used the Shure SM5B? Do you mean SM7B or is there a 5B?
it
I'm
might
not
be
sure.
a 5.
I've only ever used the 7.
I thought the 635 was a salt shaker mic, huh? I don't know that one then, Travis. No. I am a fan of funky ass Omni mics though, so definitely would be down to try one. Is that a no on the ginger ale then?
I'm good, yeah, man. Thank you, though.
I'll pound that shit then.
Do it up.
Um,
I'm already like flying high over here, so. Oh, more Strokesy sound or Libertines indie-ish rock. Yeah, I think a lot of the Strokes stuff was pretty minimal miking, so you could probably go with like a kick drum mic, and I don't know. You could look up some of those early interviews. I would say you probably just need like a kick, maybe like some kind of room mic, and then like a snare mic. If you're going for that sort of simple sound, really, that's also really going to come down to the drummer and their ability to mix their playing as they're playing. So, but I would keep the mics minimal if you're looking to go with that sort of a sound. But the like Strokes, of course, the early stuff is like very separate in the mix. So, like the drum sounds, and I think they did a lot of. I remember reading something about like sound baffling, or they had like the hi-hat in a really weird position so that they could minimize the bleed, and the guy had to learn how to play it in like a weird configuration so that they were going for some really different sounds, I guess. But I would say keep it minimal if that's the type of bands you're looking to record, Chris. What do you think, Jay? Did I cover it?
I think so. I think I would, I really stick to what I said. I would judge based on what sounds best in the room. There is no one thing that's going to work perfectly every time. There are sessions where you won't ever need it. You don't really want to have necessarily close mics on stuff for the vibe.
Oh.
But I think it really depends on what the aesthetic is that you're trying to create and maintain.
Yeah, Chris said the one problem I have found the drummer I play with hits the cymbals too hard. So the one thing you can either try to ask your drummer to hit the cymbals lighter,
Which will never work.
which will never work. So what you should try to do is like a miking technique where that can work sometimes is having like an SM57 or something that's, I think I was explaining this yesterday, a few inches off the ground, so that way you'll get more of the bass frequencies that are traveling along the ground, and also more of the underheads of the drums that they're hitting. So you'll be more, you'll be sort of close. You'll be technically closer to the drums. So
Well, I
the
use
physical, like I don't mean like the drum kit. I mean the actual toms and stuff.
I use the underhead mics a lot. I use short stands, are probably 8 inches tall or so. Usually, I do that with condensers. You have to be careful with your position. What positions you choose for those mics, though. While they do minimize cymbals in a lot of cases, or in most cases, they can also make things like your ride cymbal very washed out, and it can also give you an uncontrollable amount of toms in your your room mics if you're not careful. There are ways with duckers and gates and stuff that you could, in the box, trigger those hits and knock them down in the rooms if you had to. But working to cassette or any other kind of medium where, the go back and edit sort of thing is difficult. I would really crank my headphones up and move my mics around until I found the sweet spots and go with whatever that is.
Oh, that's cool. Travis said, try a figure eight ribbon hung low between the cymbals with the null points at the cymbals.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried that? I never had a figure eight ribbon, so I've never had a chance. I've never had a figure eight microphone, so I've never had a chance to really try that out.
Yeah, I messed around with that. I don't know. I feel like my ribbons get kind of funky when you get too close to things that are that loud, though. I just have fat heads here, so, not amazing ribbons to begin with, but I find my favorite position for those is, like I said, with the Blumlein sort of XY pair on a tree about 3 or so feet out in front of the kit. But same thing. If you angle that correctly, you can null out all sorts of garbage information that's coming off of that drum kit too. So yeah.
Yo, I'm a fan of no cymbals. I don't mean to always keep referencing Little Wiser, but Little Wiser is probably the most popular track I've ever put out, lifetime, which is crazy. And guess what? There's no cymbals. It's just kick and snare. I think it just comes down to this kind of song that you're playing and what you're going for. But yeah, I'm a fan of trying no cymbals. I like the Mo Tucker reference, and yeah, Travis. I mean,
Travis, you think the the overhead is always super low? Okay, I got you. Yeah, I think so.
yeah, I'm a big fan too, Travis, of no toms. I think the most, I too, Chris, agree with you that the most important parts are the kick and the snare. So again, it depends on the type of music, but granted, saying that you're going for Strokes or Libertines type stuff, then yeah, I mean, it sounds like in that setup, if you're going for that garagey rock like Velvet Underground, garage rock type vibe, I mean, you can get away with kick and snare.
Well, if I'm being honest, I kind of hate toms also. Even as a drummer, it's sort of like I'd rather keep it in the pocket with the kick, snare, and hat.
Yeah.
And never hit anything else than worry about being all flashy and trying to make that all sound good.
I think there's like that. There's I may be misquoting this, but there's like one of the interviews with Steve Albini on YouTube. I think he says like if a drummer has more than like a one rack tom and one floor tom, they're showing off.
Yeah,
and I think that's
pretty much
true. It's like I like I when I'm playing a kit too, I like kick snare, hi hat, maybe a floor tom and a ride. Like that's usually what I go for. But yeah, I'm with you though, Jay. I'm all about just keeping it simple.
I usually play the 4-piece, but it's sort of mostly out of necessity. I tend to write patterns that use at least a little bit of rack tom, but it would be my preference to never use it. It's just habitual.
Yeah.
I
next
write.
practice, we'll just strip it down.
Well, I've practiced with you before with just like the kick snare and the floor tom.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I mean, Chris, what? This is another crazy idea that your drummer will probably hate, but tell him to. It depends on how you ask him. Maybe you can ask him like, "Hey, maybe this practice don't play with cymbals. Let's see how it sounds." But maybe he might say no, but you can't hurt to ask. What do you got to lose?
The other problem with drummer types is that we especially with as you get into more aggressive genres, everybody wants these big, heavy, long ringing cymbals that are loud as fuck, like rude hats and all this shit. Those are not ideal for a studio. You want something that speaks quick and sort of soft and gets out of the way. So if you got a drummer who's playing like a big heavy 22-inch ride and 18-inch crashes and shit, 15-inch full metal jacket fucking hi-hats, you're never going to get there with that setup. You got to have something a little different. I keep a small set of K dark 13-inch hi-hats here for guest drummers who can't get the fucking hi-hats under control. And I have thin crash cymbals and all sorts of shit for that reason, because most of what I play ends up being recorded stuff or played out live in smaller venues, so I don't need a 20-inch fucking stage crash belongs exactly where you found it at the fucking music store. There's no reality to that cymbal unless you're playing a goddamn stadium.
Andrew said, could you recommend a super cheap drum kit? Yeah, I would say I think Exodus Craigslist. That's perfect. I got my drum kit for $50. Came like complete from a friend of mine, one of my friends, ex-girlfriends or somebody, and I've gotten some great sounds on it. Made some great records with it, and it all just comes down to how you tune them. Really, I think a good drummer can make a kit sound good no matter what. So
actually, you know what? Jeremy's talking about there's that one post-punk band whose drummer played bass and snare with mallets. Are you talking about they did Where's Your Car, Debbie? Slaves? I don't know if you guys have heard that band Slaves, but that guy stands up and sings and plays kick drum and snare with big ass fucking mallets or sticks.
Oh, I think it's that band you showed me, right?
Yeah, that shit fucking rips,
that's
man.
Cool. Well, it's like it's boiled down to just like really simple, awesome songs. Like I don't know, I don't see how you can ever go wrong making something simpler.
Well, you think about the patterns too. If you only have two hands and your feet aren't doing anything, there's no hi-hat to get in the way, right?
I mean, yeah, Travis, that's such a good point too. Make it seem like a challenge, and the drummer weirdos always fall for it.
Yep.
I mean, and you can also make your own album, Chris. Like make your own album where you say I'm just gonna use a floor tom and a snare for every song, or challenge them to do something really simple like that. That is very true though. Drummer weirdos will always fall for that. Travis, thank you.
I'm gonna play you that Slave song so you can see what the difference is.
Oh, Andrew said, Vlad said buy a drum machine like an Electrive or other sampler. I totally recommend that too. Get the DM1 drum app. That's one of my favorite apps. You guys know I talk about it all the time. It's stuff I used to use live before I had Chris and Jay. Recording.com. We're going to hang out for another live stream right now at 8 p.m. Usually we get together at Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 8 p.m. If you're watching this on the replay, don't forget to hit subscribe to my YouTube channel, you nerd. And if you are subscribed, make sure you hit the bell when we go live for these streams. we're just gonna set a couple things up, put some music on in the background. The wizard is standing by,
What's going on?
so we're getting ready to rock this out tonight, guys. So we're gonna just get some stuff set up, and we'll see you in a bit.
Little flower, smell so sweet. First you grow and then you wilt in the heat. Leaving only memories behind. Wilt in the heat. From all the things we didn't try. A color wheel, suicides, and amazes. I've got the good book for you to rely on salvation. If you let me choose, I just might let you down. The smile never frowns. Don't discover. If you choose, you just might let me down too. We do it to each other. Go ahead and lock your door. Don't talk to strangers no more. Ask yourself if the worst is in store. A karma cloud we all ignore. Lying broken on the floor. It makes sense. Got to know a few acts before. If you let me choose, I just might let you down. With a smile, never a frown. So don't be stubborn. If you choose, you just might let me down too. You stupid motherfucker.
It works really, really
Local
well.
band called, what is it? Teetotals?
Teetotals, yeah, or totals maybe. Maybe just totals with an extra T.
I'll have to check that out.
Blues Explosion, yeah, early Sleater Kinney. Well, Sleater Kinney,
Slater Kinney is not high on my list.
but isn't it all no bass? Like, I think that's what he's saying. Like, I did no bass.
I
Isn't
don't
it
know.
two guitars?
Yeah. Well, yeah, Joy Division definitely was raw. No doubt about that.
But it's just like super simple, like the drum kits that they're playing.
Yeah.
Oh, there's like a little moth flying around.
That's alright.
Oh, Joy Division was raw. Yeah, I just see that now.
Newt Knockville.
Yeah.
Vlad, is that something you recorded or?
Yeah, is that something you're working on, Vlad? You know, can one of the moderators just throw up a just puke in your house right now? No, can you throw up a link for that band so we can check out what Vlad's trying to link here?
Yeah, Ian Curtis was real. Not a big Joy Division guy, but I can appreciate how sort of raw and sort of atmospheric some of that shit is.
Oh, it's not your records, but you
Okay.
like the band. Okay.
Cool. Nice.
Nice. Yeah, Travis was saying
Yeah, I think I missed a little few
Toilet-
pieces here.
toilet paper and gaff tape is your friend, and a set of keys between the hi-hats.
I've never tried keys between the hi-hats.
I haven't
actually. That's
either. I've
interesting.
heard of that. Not Nokograd.
It's cool. Well, there's a lot to go back and check out for sure.
Yeah, you got a little pad list, right?
Yeah, I do.
Cool.
Yep.
That's what I wind up doing too. Like, I've been taking a lot of notes of all this stuff because like there's so many ideas and so many links and stuff to check out. It's hard to do it while you're on this end of the stream. So, are we still there, guys? Are we dropping out a little bit?
No, it looks like it's clean here.
They sounds in the spirit of old records. Huh.
Check out Tito's for ones in the know. All right, cool. I'll check that out.
Stream's good. Thanks, Jumbo. Yeah, we'll check that one out, Travis. That sounds awesome. We'll check it out on our way to go eat. Jay and I usually have like a little powwow slash decompression talk chat after the streams. We hang out at the local gas station and get these sandwiches, which doesn't sound as glamorous as it is. It actually is. It's actually pretty nice.
Makes us sound super. Oh man.
That's why I said it, because I thought it would be really fucking funny.
Live to 8-track in front of a live audience. That's awesome. So was your console set up as front of house and then you used the buses to feed the 8 tracks, or how did you do it? Or did you have like a whole separate sub snake or split snake to take off?
Brought the Atari. Whoa.
Yeah. Damn.
Where are all these TVs up here?
Who the fuck? Oh, it's probably. I used to play a game on that. I used to play the fucking
TV game?
No, it was Family Guy: The Quest for Stuff.
Oh.
And those are all notifications because the game evidently still doesn't know that I'm not playing it anymore.
Gotcha.
Setup was independent from the PA. Cool. So you had multiple mics beyond what they had set up and everything. I was just curious if you were like monitor rigs, generally there's the split snake involved, which you could, if there's extra tails you could take out to the remote recording rig too. But I did some live recordings actually with an ADAT in a rack case and a MACD 16 channel, which is not quite the same or as glamorous as what you did, but it's certainly fun.
That's crazy. The setup was independent. Had a little mixer.
I used to do a lot of stuff with the ADAT, like guerrilla setups. I would bring a couple racks of gear and like drop it in rehearsal spaces and make records that way. It was super fun. I always really enjoyed it because you never knew, like,
Yeah.
Travis gets it, I'm sure, but like, you never know what kind of environment you're rolling into or what it's going to really sound like when you start throwing mics around in it and shit, and it's just super cool.
Challenging and fun.
Yeah, and well,
you never know what you're gonna like recording like that's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
I hired to track a live show series a few years ago. Whoa, 1/2-inch 3-track. Oh, that's some fucking OG shit.
Whoa. I didn't even know they made like 3-track
Yeah,
machines.
they did. Left, right, and center.
Damn. Talk about dumb.
Well, there were some Beatles records made on 3-track, if I'm not mistaken. Some people are about that, so. Wow. That's pretty badass, though.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Just having your hands on that technology. What about wire recorders, Travis? You ever fuck with wire recorders? Travis is like the core of the chat right now.
I know. And Vlad too. Yeah, if anybody can link Vlad's, I think Jay, can you link Vlad's thing there?
How do I do that?
Oh, maybe that's what Twin was listening to it. Twin, I think Twin's gonna link it.
Yeah, I don't know how the fuck I do. Do I have a wrench?
You should have a wrench, yeah.
Oh. So if I have a wrench, what do I do?
Just type in that link and it should work. What is it? Knucklegrab.bandcamp.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll hook you up, Vlad. We'll get it in there. I think the moderators must have stepped out or something. There we go. Oh yeah, of course.
Did you do
Vlad.
it already?
It's perfect, Vlad. We got you loud and clear,
Did
buddy.
you already do it?
Yeah, it's on there.
Fuck. I'm too slow, man. I'm too slow.
It's all good. I think there you
Travis,
go.
I have a wire recorder that I've been like on and off fucking with restoring for a while. And I actually finally just got some of the original brake padding material for it from a resto company in the Midwest. So I still have to install that, but I'm super stoked on trying to get that thing to do something. It's a weird sound though. Yeah, it's awesome except for when the brake doesn't engage correctly because the pads wore out and about 2 miles of stainless wire go all over your living room. That really sucks. But it's a crazy technology, man. The fact that like you actually could store like pre-magnetic tape. They were storing magnetic pulses on stainless steel wire is pretty crazy. And some of the spools I have that came with it still work. It's probably from like the late 40s. Yeah, straight to lacquer, man. That's a pretty cool shit. I know Jack White's big on the lathes and stuff. I did some resto work on a couple of those little lathes, and it's fascinating that shit even works. The old crystal cutters, you know. There's a guy local to us who has a big, I think it's a Presto lathe, and he takes it to festivals and shit, and you can like play music off your phone or sing a song through his mics and stuff, and he'll cut it right while you're standing there. It's really sweet. They have a Scully lathe, yeah. Very interesting. I'm sure it's probably like a beautiful specimen because Jack White's got the money for that kind of shit. But Travis, have you been in the like record your own single booth at Third Man? I really want to check that shit out. I like that old school like that. All right, Giant Tree. Peace out.
Yo, Giant Tree, thanks for coming by again. 2 nights in a row. Good to see you.
That's where I drop my flow. That's awesome. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people cut, you know, who the fuck knows what's on the records, but cut their own little records on there. Yeah, I bet it was, John. I hope to go there one day and check that place out.
Let's do it. We'll do it on the 424 road trip.
Fucking bucket list.
424 recording
Bucket
road
list.
trip. We're gonna record our own single. In the booth.
It's gonna be a little wiser.
Hell yeah. Let's do it.
You're gonna have 37 versions of that song by the time I die.
I know, right? We have to start writing some new stuff.
Little wiser. What would be the opposite of that? Big dumber.
That's cool.
This is our new song, Big Dumber.
Big Dumber.
Big Dumber.
The Hapro version of Little Wiser. I feel like Jack White. Music symbol. Yeah, that's pretty accurate, Chris.
Oh, man. Yeah, but you know what?
I'm holding this upside down.
No matter what anybody says about Jack White or his music or whatever, like, there are technologies that he is bringing sort of back into the realm of modern interests that have sort of long been forgotten or you know, shunned by popular production. And
yeah, we'll bring our sleeping bags, Travis. He said we'll be sleeping on his live room floor.
whatever, dude.
We'll do it.
As long as there's a drum kit in there.
Let's do it. It's gonna be a little wise ass before it's over.
Little wise ass.
You heard Never knew I was a hat guy until I found this one and started wearing it. I never knew that I was a hat guy till I found this one and I started wearing it.
Oh, Jesus.
It fits. He figured it out. It fits.
Yeah, Travis, totally, man. You know, it's I got nothing bad to say about that guy at all. Actually, musically, maybe not my thing as much, but I'm totally with the vibe of what he's after and the aesthetic that he's pushing, and
Yeah.
the fact that he has brought new interest to old tech is really. I mean, it sucks for the pricing of some of that old tech, but. Other than that, it's
I was
good.
gonna say that too.
It's good to see a resurgence in things that are sort of forgotten.
Heck yeah.
And there's a great 70s Ludwig. Yep, got it. I wash
That
my
sounds
hands
awesome.
constantly, so it'll be okay. No grubby hands. People call Jack a hipster. I think hipsters happen because of Jack. I don't think he intentionally originated it though.
He works with Library of Congress archival stuff. That's crazy.
Huh.
Like really early recording stuff.
Damn. Dexter Romweber. I have to do some checking out on that one.
Yeah.
Not familiar.
Yo, TascFam, how y'all doing out there?
Well, I'm getting hungry now.
Dude,
I gotta
yeah.
step out and use it real quick.
All right.
Family. Then maybe.
Inspiration. Whoa, I didn't know that.
What happened?
Oh, he said Dexter Romweber was Jack White's inspiration.
Ah. It all comes
that's
from
awesome.
somewhere.
That's awesome, Travis. Bully live show. I caught a couple of the tracks on the KEXP out in Seattle, I think, right? I caught their live set on that on YouTube. They're sick, man. Very cool. You're super lucky, man. Oh, it is a KEXP thing? That's funny. Oh, that's hilarious. That's actually where I saw them on the KEXP. I think when they were out in Seattle. That's so funny. So it's like another one they're doing in Nashville, I'm assuming. Damn, I gotta check that out. Yeah, they seem super cool and genuine and super into what they're doing and like the genuine article there, you know. Yeah, I like KEXP stuff too. They have a lot of cool bands that I probably wouldn't otherwise normally get to see in a live situation that's recorded that well, and I like checking out stuff on there. And stuff always gets suggested to me too because I check out a lot of stuff. I think I'm subscribed. And at one point, for some reason, KEXP was like a related channel to 424. I don't know why that would have been. Maybe there's just not many music channels or something. I don't know. But yeah, KEXP is cool. They have a lot of cool bands and different stuff on there. I like checking that out. That's awesome, Travis. Oh, okay. Are they from Nashville, Travis, or they just pass through there a lot? All right, Twin, take care of those capros. We're gonna be bouncing out of here, I think, in a minute.
Yeah, might as well, right?
Surfer Blood.
I just fucked that all up.
That's all right. That's all right. See you later, Twin. Thanks for coming through. Thanks for moderating, my friend.
All
Good to
right,
see
Twin.
you. Guys, smash that like button if you like this. Give us a couple likes. Okay, yeah, we've been talking about. You ever heard the band Bully?
No.
Travis is recording them on the 8th, he said, and they're pretty cool. I checked them out on KEXP. You ever watch KEXP on YouTube? It's like yeah.
Nice.
They're really cool. That's awesome, Travis. He said they moved out there. Oh, I met a few of them when I first moved here. Cool. Thrashville.
Yeah, that'd be Nashville.
Well, Nashville's got to be a cool place to be at, though, if you're into recording. I mean, I know that like music is still jumping down there. So
Yeah, yeah. I really want. I've never been to Nashville. It's actually one of the only places, only states. I've been to Tennessee, but it's one of the big cities in the U.S. that I've yet to been to.
good, John. I'm glad you had fun tonight.
Yeah, John. Thank you for coming through, my friend.
Well, I do like recording. I'm not much on man buns. Generally, I'm kind of not really much on people that have them either, but you know, case by case.
Cool, guys. Yo, this has been a really fun stream. I'm glad we
Yeah,
were able to
definitely.
work through our stream health issues. I think we got the tape on the floor over here, so we know where to set up the camera next time, which is great. But yeah, so far the stream looks good. It looks like we just can't move it from this spot.
Ever has to live there forever.
Guys, thank you all so much for coming out.
Yeah.
If you are Vlad, thank you, Vlad, from our first Russian streamer, live streamer, and you guys did our first ever foreign language in the chat. That's amazing. That's so crazy.
I
Thank
wish
you
I
guys
knew
so
what
much.
it said.
Yeah, I don't know what any of that stuff said, but I hope it was all fun and good stuff. So, yeah, Vlad, thank you so much for coming out. It's got to be like 6 a.m. now in Moscow at
Yeah,
least.
and make sure you get on that forum too.
Yeah, do it up. Hit me up, Travis. Um, yeah, Vlad, come out anytime. We're usually 8 p.m. Eastern, Tuesdays and Wednesdays. This Saturday, just to let you guys all know, March 3rd, we're going to be streaming with Brian from Yellow Rainbow, my buddy, who is at the cabin. He's coming through for Coffee with Mike at 11 a.m. on Eastern on Saturday, March 3rd. So if you guys want
Nice.
to catch another stream, come through. That's going to be a fun one. We're going to just be doing hangout, answering some questions, talking about his new record and stuff. So our first ever scheduled live stream.
Travis has got some ideas to text you.
Yeah, hit me up. We'll do a group chat with Jay. We'll see what up. And guys, check out the
I
forum.
don't have to know everything, man. I don't have to know everything.
Check out the forum. Travis has his new board on there. DBO's got his new board. We're gonna just be doing some reel to reel. We're gonna be talking gear lists. You guys got gear lists? Post them up. I'd love to hear what you guys got. What you guys got sitting around. I'm gonna probably throw my stuff. I don't really have much stuff. Jay's is gonna be a big post when you hit that up.
Mine already exists. I'm not retyping all that.
Oh, well, maybe you could repost it to the.
Oh, Jesus.
We could copy and paste. Yeah, Vlad, come through, my friend. Don't forget to subscribe too to my YouTube channel, you nerd.
Travis, I'll hit you up on the Instagram message thread that we had for a minute there.
Cool.
I'll give you my number there. You can get a hold of me.
Hell yeah. Yeah, and don't forget to subscribe, you nerds. Hit the bell if you want to get notifications when we go live. There's been some issues with people not getting the notifications, but every Tuesday, Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and
Vlad,
Saturday.
you can also watch back through the live streams that both Mike and I have done together, and that Mike's done on his own, and that he's done with various guests and friends.
Yeah,
and,
hell yeah.
This is, what is this, 21 or 22?
Something like that.
I
Yeah.
think this is 22. So there's plenty of
Yeah.
past streaming you could
Streams.
look back on, and
There's like over 100 videos on the channel now of all 424 recording and different types of recording stuff. So
Yeah.
4-track recording. So
and certainly I saw you say something
more coming
about
every week.
about your English or whatever. Like we're not that kind of those kind of people, man.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. We'll work through broken languages if it means
I
an
would have
exchange
never
of
even
information
known.
with good people.
I would have
so
never even known either.
Don't sweat that for a second.
Yeah, and to be fair, like I speaking for myself, I don't know about Jay, but I know no Russian at all. So
None.
like we couldn't
None.
even speak.
Well, niet, I guess is Russian.
Oh,
so
okay,
I do
so
know that, but
Jay knows one word in Russian. So
I know a tiny bit of German, a fair bit of Spanish.
if anything, we should be apologizing
and I
to you.
speak broken English. But
Travis said he barely knows English, so there you go.
But yeah, don't let whatever your perception of a language barrier is.
Yeah, you're
be
killing it. You're crushing it.
What holds you back? Join us and be part of the community if you
Yeah.
want to. Definitely.
Thank you so much for coming out.
Glad to have you.
Twin, Schizo,
Said I barely know English and I'm from Iowa. Oh man.
Travis.
I like this guy, he's funny.
Yeah, man. Jeb, Exodus, Jeremy, thanks for coming out, man. Everybody's been looking for you. It's good to see you
Sure.
again. Andrew coming through. What's up, buddy? Jumbo,
Redneck and knees.
Christopher,
Oh, man.
another new face around here. Don't forget to subscribe, guys.
Spasibo.
Good to have you, Chris.
Torverish.
Giant Tree was hanging out. We got a lot of folks coming through. This is great, guys.
Vlad, what does that mean?
Yeah, we need some translation here.
Spasibo.
Will was hanging out earlier. He probably went to bed. It's kind of
Tovarish.
late in the UK.
Spasibo Tovarish.
I'm sorry if I missed any of you guys, but thank you guys all for coming out tonight. This has been awesome. Sorry we couldn't do a full drum thing. We'll have to do a full drum session video. at some
Awesome.
point.
Christopher says he's subscribed and will be around.
Thanks, Christopher.
Thanks,
That's
Jumbo.
awesome.
Thanks, Christopher. Andrew. Skiz. Yeah.
Spasibo Tovarish. Yo, our pleasure, Andrew. Thanks for coming out, my friend.
Yeah. Glad to have all you guys here.
We would just
Always.
be sitting here talking to the wall without you. So,
Well, I don't know. I mean, yeah.
well, we'd be talking to each other. I
Oh,
guess.
man. I don't know about that, dude. Man.
All right, I think that's a good note to end on. Guys, do something you want to do tonight. I'm
Yeah.
glad that you spent your time hanging out with us. That's awesome. Thank you for coming through.
Oh my god. And Jeremy, I'll be in touch with just the rough of that drum track.
Oh
I
yeah,
laid
the drum
down.
track we're doing. Jeremy, I got a mixture track too. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for coming out. This has been a blast. Jay and I are gonna get some food, decompress a little bit about the stream, and hit me up 424corey@gmail.com. Jay's over at operationaudio@gmail.com, and of course, if you need to get in touch with us, hit us up on the forum. And I guess
All right,
that's
we'll be
about it.
seeing you all later on, and y'all have a good night. Make sure you did something you wanted to do today, and make sure you do something you wanted to do tomorrow.
That's right.
And
Most important
subscribe,
thing.
smash the button, catch the forum, email the motherfuckers, and yeah. Hope you guys are killing it out there.
Yeah. All right,
So,
boys.
from the Bohemisphere into your living room or your car or wherever you are. Good night.
Good night, guys. Peace out. Peace out, TascFam.